Hi there, and welcome to a typical tea, relaxing long play. At last, I'm returning with a camp to kingdom in Manor Lords. Join me as we grow from the settlers' tents to a regional power, taking on the various AI lords as we fight our way to dominance for the first time in the new update on the Twin Lakes map. If you like these camp to kingdom style videos, let me know by dropping a like and a comment. And I never thought I would say this, but for the first time I'm starting to believe we might actually make it to 1,000 subscribers. If you're new or haven't subscribed, it would mean so much to me if you could be a part of making that a reality. Memberships are also now live, so for any of you who want to support the channel, you can become a typical T liegeling. Along with my eternal gratitude, you'll appear in the members reel at the end of the videos and get early access to content. But enough of that though. Without further ado, grab a cup of tea, make yourself comfortable and relax alongside me in Manor Lords. Indeed, we shall prepare for battle. Resource-wise, we've got a rich resource of fish, and we've got a rich iron deposit as well. So, good resources when it comes to taking on the AI. And when it comes to fertility as well, not so great here, but I'm sure we'll be able to cope just fine. Right off the bat then, we need to get into our usual starting procedure. I think we'll try and do something a little bit more organic when it comes to settlement layout this time, as opposed to what we've done in the past, which tends to be something fairly geometric, which tends to be my signature move, but this time we'll keep things a little more natural looking. We're going to want something relatively near our shoal of fish, because that's going to be our main source of food starting off. So why don't we build a little road out around here, just bordering the edge of the lake here, and we can use that as kind of a template to put our settlement between that road and the King's Road over here. So maybe even let's get a little road that connects from here through to the King's Road, and we'll try and make this nicely curved as well. Something a little like that, and maybe we'll even carry that on across the other side eventually to where we'll have our iron mines. So we'll pop that road down there, and then maybe we'll pop on across this side as well, connecting back in over here. We'll take one snap point in the middle, and that gives us a little starting zone here. Let's get down a logging camp. I think we'll put this on this side over here so we can start clearing out this section of forest. Well, maybe even this one here would be a good place to start. In any case, it needs to be nice and close to our starting resources. So we'll just bring a road across here and plop that down just across the way. And the same, of course, is true of our storehouse and our granary. We'll want those nice and close to our starting resources. So we'll pop those right in here. We'll get an additional hitching post down right off the bat. We'll put that opposite where we're going to have our logging camp. We'll up the priority of the logging camp, and we'll straight away order in an ox, and we'll let time pass on, and we'll get started on those first initial couple of constructions. The logging camp, of course, important so that we can get a few more resources ready, and then the granary and the storehouse got together so we can get a few workers in there just to get all of those supplies tucked neatly inside the buildings. We'll get two families working at the loggers camp right away. We'll get one worker at the storehouse and one down at the granary, leaving one for construction. And we'll move the hitching post that we started with over there, so he's got something to do for the second. And you can see we've got 2 timber left over, so we'll use that to build our first burgish plot. Now the burgish plots, we'll want to have something relatively diagonal so that we can take advantage of the larger garden size. So how about squeezing something in next to here? Nope, too big of a space there. What if we start next to the logging camp and come out this way? That's pretty good. That's going to be a nice large starting settlement. Nice large starting plot, but maybe we'll make it slightly smaller. Leave a bit of a more parallel line over here. That's interesting, but the house is too close to the outside edge. What if we fill all the way up to here? Gosh, that's a big plot, isn't it? I think we'll probably want to have 2 plots there, so we'll speed time up just so that we can get those additional 2 logs brought in. We do have 2 families working at the log camp, so there we are. That's happened nice and quickly. So we'll get that under construction. Now we should have moved all of those starting resources inside, so we'll unassign the storehouse and granary workers to free them up for construction. Let's get down a well, so we've got a source of water for our budding settlement. And then we're going to want to focus on getting a couple of burgish plots popped together. So we're going to have 3 living spaces there, so we'll need a couple more. And let's get some in this space here opposite. And what can we fit in next to these settlers' tents here? So we can have 1 nice big one there, or 2 there with an odd shaped one there. Don't hate the way that looks, but I'm not convinced that's going to be the most space efficient way of doing things. So let's make it slightly smaller, like that. Maybe even if we come in line here. Do this here. Too small. Let's go as per the original plan, I think. Just have a nice big one there. Okay. And then we'll have some smaller ones that will pop along here. Let's get a road that continues through to this side and maybe snakes off toward the clay deposit. A little something like that there. Curve that out. Not too much. Maybe even continue it all the way around. We'll take it. I always find one snap point looks a little bit neater. Reduce the curve a little bit. We'll go there for starters. And then we can build alongside here some smaller burgish plots, which are going to be where we're going to have some artisanal crafts. Maybe even let's build a road down behind them perhaps. And we don't really want to encroach on the space for the iron actually. Well, we can get a couple of extensions on so we've got space for people to move in any event. And we can do that to those 2 there. They'll have water, and then what we want to do is go ahead and get down some food production as soon as we possibly can, because we do not want to be missing out on food. And we'll get that one down just here. And we'll get a few families working at that right away, as we get the first level there of settlement right away. Maybe we'll fill this space here in with a couple of burgish plots. That looks a splendid idea to me. And we might have to wait until we have a little bit more timber come in to do that. Indeed. War is to come. So we'll get our initial spears popped together there. We're also going to need a woodcutter's lodge fairly soon. Let's take a road here, like so. Maybe even carry that all the way through. And that'll give us space for a few other buildings here, such as the woodcutter's lodge. We'll need to select our perk shortly as well. Let's get 2 families working at the fisherman's hut. We'll free 1 family up from the logging camp and send them to work at the storehouse so that we can start to distribute some material goods to our good peoples, which of course is going to help put our approval up. And we've got 5 timber, so let's get down a couple of more burgish plots. What are we thinking? We've got our market stall is going to be in here somewhere. That's a good point. We need a market stall. Be a good thing to get down, wouldn't it? We'll put that just here. Leave space to get a road into the centre maybe. Just like so. And then put some burgish plots, as we had originally planned, some small ones in here. Ooh, I quite like that. It's attractive, isn't it? I don't know if we want expansions though. It's more like it. We just need to get enough space to that end burgish plot to have an expansion at the rear. Good. That looks nice. So we've got food coming in, And we'll be able to get some fuel just as soon as we have an additional family in and we have a spare worker. Now, in terms of what we want for our upgrade, our perk, we have a strong iron ore deposit, so it may be worth going for prosecutors, because we'll have better armors and better mine integrity. Increased retinue costs, but I don't think that's the end of the world. I think we'll go for that. We're going to go hard on war in this playthrough. And just as soon as we have a few more families move in, we want to go and take care of those brigands so we can get some initial influence and finances in together. And we can see our adversary AIs are not hanging about either. They're getting settled into the game. We'll have to take care of those rival lords before they decide to take care of us. In our little kingdom here in Kleinbier. Splendid. Right, we're hardly making a dent in the old fishes, but we are bringing in enough for some food. We're going to want to put some vegetable extensions on, so with that in mind, we need to make sure we have all of the goods we need ready for that, and that's going to include things like getting down a saw pit. And maybe we can tuck that one in here and connect the road up across here. That looks nice, almost a little nucleated little inner cul-de-sac here, which is quite lovely, isn't it? Family move in there, taking up some of the timber. So with that, we'll get a family working at the woodcutter's lodge. That's going to help us distribute firewood, which of course is going to make people lovely and happy and up our monthly migration. We're safely in +1 monthly migration now. We'll get a charcoal kiln nice and early, because we don't want to be wasting fire resources on just turning it all into horribly inefficient firewood. We want to be turning it into lovely efficient charcoal. So we'll pop that one down there. And then, of course, what we're going to do with that charcoal, well, some of it we'll burn ourselves, but we're going to want to get some trading set up. So we'll go over to logistics, and we'll get down a trading post, which we'll put on the King's Road here, so that we can start to establish a charcoal trade network nice and early to get some additional finances coming in, which is going to allow us to do things like put on extensions and buy all of the vegetables we need for it. We'll get that spare family that just moved in, working at the charcoal kiln right away. We've got 5 timber, so we'll go right ahead and look to build some more burgish plots. Now, I think maybe continuing this road across here might be a good thing to do. And maybe we'll guide it off across to the left somewhere, as we have some resources stolen by the filthy bandits. Gosh darn it. And we'll build that there. And then continue these burgish plots along here to match what we've done on this side. We need 12 timber for that, and we're only at 8, so let's shorten this a little bit. Just so we can get some built, to make sure that we always have somewhere for people to be moving into. We'll build those there. We've had another family move in, so we'll get a third family at the... No, we won't. We'll get a family working at the granary, so we can start moving those fish out to allow the fishermen to do their work. So make sure we have enough fish to tide us over the winter. And that's our second burgish plot open. Let's go to trade in our trading post. And let's see about opening up an initial trade on charcoal. And we're going to export everything over 50. So we'll build up a little bit of a surplus first. And of course, we need a family to move in to allow us to get a worker down at the trading post. But that'll all happen in good time. And there we have it. Someone moving in right then. We'll get them employed. The first thing we might target there is being able to buy a horse, so that we can make the trading more efficient, take more per journey. And of course, we're going to need somewhere to keep the horse, which means building a couple of hitching posts down here, which can later be upgraded to stables. We'll put 2 down there. And we're up to 7 timber again already, so we'll match these burgish plots on this side, or perhaps we'll consider getting a few more burgish plots of the ilk of farm or orchard. Right, how far can I have that snap? That far there? Doesn't like that, does it? What about if we come off this side here? Oh, that's good. That's not terrible at all. That looks rather nice. We'll put that there, and then I think we might mimic that shape. Gosh, curvature tool is on far too much. mimic that shape on this side, where it gets curves out as it goes up. How's that there? Can we then get a very similar burgish plot but on the other side? We can. That looks good. We'll build that one there. And that's another 2 burgish plots that are going to make for good extensions. Had another family move in, so let's get them working at the saw pit. And we'll set up some limits. We don't need more than, let's say, 150 planks. But we don't want to be going under 10 timber to start with, because we are going to need those. We're up to 20 people already, so we're going to deploy our militia. We'll send them out here. And we're going to go and take on those brigands for some initial cash. There we have it. Our retinue, not our retinue, our feud has assembled, so we'll make sure they're not running. And let's head over to take care of those brigands. We'll try and use the train to our advantage and set ourselves up on the hill here. So we'll march them over there. Good. Make sure you're not running. There's no point wearing yourselves out before you get there. And meanwhile here, we'll make sure we're making good use of the workers we have. So we have, how are we doing? Are we moving everything out of the fisher's hut? Yes, we are. So we'll get a 3rd family working there to make sure we're still bringing in enough food to see us through the winter. We could, of course, get some berries collected in as well, but it's quite a ways over to the berry collection area, so not the most efficient route for us to walk. How are we doing? Tiring ourselves coming up this hill. We'll take a little break at the top here. I don't think we'll be aggroing them until we're about here, potentially. So we'll take a second to recuperate. 88% effectiveness, not too bad. This will probably aggro them. Are you coming, friends? Not quite yet. Let's set up here. We'll take up a shield wall initially to break up their charge. And we'll try, there we go. And we'll try and stay on the upper part of the slope, because that's going to give us that terrain bonus where they're having to fight uphill. So we'll set ourselves to stand your ground, and then as soon as combat engages, we'll aggressively push down into them. Come on, men. You're 20 versus 18, you're well equipped, and they are not. I would like to think that we don't take any casualties here at all. Speed time along a little bit and see how well we can do. And it looks like we might have a nice clean route. Splendid. Perfectly executed if I do say so myself. Right, you can run now. We want to go and gather all those lovely, bountiful resources for ourselves. Meanwhile, back in the Klein, we've got some regional wealth that's come in from our trading of charcoal. So we're going to get a horse ordered there straight away. And we're going to upgrade these hitching posts to stables now that we have a few planks. New message. Oh, well, I think that belongs to me now. Thank you very much. Well done, men. You've earned a rest. You can come home, and I believe it's fish on the menu. There's not a lot of choice about that, I'm afraid. Goodness, another bandit camp. Lads, it looks like you're not coming home straight away. Well, don't run, because you're definitely going to need to rest up before we engage. Now, I don't know how close we can get before we aggro them here, so we may be better off engaging them around this side. But what I'm going to do for the moment is come to here with our men and let them rest up before we push over into that bandit camp. Taking out that first bandit camp gave us our first bit of influence and a little bit of treasury as well, so it'll be nice to get a second one taken care of. We've still got two places, family places, for people to be moving into burgish plots, but we can put expansions on these two here. And as we have planks now, with the families we have available for construction, as we get planks available to us, we'll get them in to start building some vegetable extensions for when we have enough money to buy the seeds. And we'll get a few spare workers over at the logging camp so that we have enough resources to continue on building. Checking back in with our fine fighting force. Capacity is still at about 20%. We'll gently make our way up slope here. The brigands and outlaws are still waiting orders. Oh, they're coming in. They're coming in. Okay. I don't really want to face them on the downslope. It's going to cost us energy to get up any further. Maybe we'll set ourselves up here. a shield wall configuration. Stand our ground. Break the charge. And then we'll aggressively push in. Now we're a little more tired than we were last time. Hopefully we don't take any losses though. Splendid. And once again we've absolutely kicked their bottoms. Let's rush in and take their money, women and children. Or was it just money? Like, it might just be money. Oh dear, I clicked the wrong button. Oh well. I got too excited and carried away. Well, I sent that to us here in our local town, which is not normally what I would do. But it does give us a bit more wiggle room over here. It means we can probably go ahead and get some beats in the ground right away. Let's get our fighting men back and snug into their beds. Food is at 5 months. And we'll disband you. How are we doing? Are we still able to fish at this time of year? So it looks like the issue is that we're full in the pantry here again. So I think it's probably worth taking a family from the logging camp and assigning them to go and work at the granary so that we can help with extracting all of the goodies from the shoal of fish from the fisherman's hut and bringing them back to the granary so that we can get on with production here while we still can. And that looks to have done the job and we're back out to gathering there. 4 available spaces to live. And we're just waiting to get back up to that magic 10 timber so that we can start producing some more planks. We've 70 available finances and 2 days until the trader returns. It would be nice to get another ox, and actually we haven't got another family to work at the trading post yet anyway, so I think we'll go ahead and get that 3rd ox to help with the speed of construction. How are our neighbours doing? Alright, well, yellow team are embarrassing us. Blue team are also embarrassing us. They've got a church. Is that a church? We've got a church, lads. What about green team? Let me guess. Embarrassing us. Well, you know, we've been at war. We've been engaging in conflict. We're already the most renowned, influential lord here, even if we don't have the largest settlement. And actually, compared to my normal geometric designs, I'm quite happy with how cozy this looks. It looks like it's grown organically, which of course it has. Now to upgrade, we need to get some more veggies, forage goods, and we need a church, of course, as well. We are going to place down our church so we can get that underway. And how about... where are we going to put our church? This could be a good spot. We could put it on the river. I think that would look quite nice. Okay. It's 34 trees uprooted for construction though, which is a very high cost in lumber, when we could be harvesting it ourselves. So perhaps we won't go there. Let's go here. Put the church just there. It'd be good as well to get a stone gathering camp down so we can gather in all the lovely stone that we have awaiting us here. We've 3 unassigned families. We're struggling a little bit with storehouse supply chain, so we'll get an additional worker at the storehouse. Food is at 7 months, fuel is looking pretty good as well. And it looks like, yep, planks are coming in nicely now, so let's get a couple more of these burgish plots that we had in mind for vegetable gardens and get them put down. I think we'll make all of these vegetable gardens and then we'll put another couple down soon, which we will focus more on getting some orchards down. Church is well under construction there. Now, these primarily are probably going to house animal pens for us, so we might as well get a few of those under construction as well. Just like so. Any more bandit camps popped up? Not for the minute, so that's all good. Also on our agenda does need to be mining. So we've got the iron ore deposit here, which we can take advantage of. How many of these can we get sat out on the road here? Try and make maximum use of the space. So we'll get 1 there and 1 there, right off the King's Road. And that'll probably do us to start with, but we have got more space to move back into here as time goes on. We'll get a spare family working at the stone gathering camp. And we'll get some cabbages and carrots planted in those 2 burgish plots now that we've got a bit more available in terms of finances, up to 72 regional wealth. We'll get a horse ordered and a second family working at the trading post. That leaves us with just 12 in terms of regional wealth, so we're not going to be able to buy any goats or pigs just yet. And goodness, we really have made our way through that shoal of fish. We're going to be nicely fed up over the winter, fortunately, with 6 months food available to us in terms of fish. And that's going to tide us through while we wait for our first vegetables to come in. Although actually it looks like our first beets are coming in now, and indeed they are. Let's get the granary and storehouse upgraded. It looks like we're just shy on planks for that purpose at the moment. As the snow starts to fall and the shoal of fish freezes over, we're done with gathering, so we'll free up our fishermen, so we've got more families available for construction. That'll allow us to get the church nicely finished off here as well. And there it is. Good stuff. And with those free workers, we can go and start bringing in some iron from the mines. And hopefully this one is done with construction very shortly too. Splendid, we'll get a family in there. Let's upgrade these hitching posts to small stables. And we'll also upgrade the granary and the storehouse to the larger variants of the two. Now on this side of the road, obviously we've got our iron production set up here. So let's build a little road just off to the side here, which I think is going to be a splendid place to get our first bit of industry popped down. And that of course is going to be the bloomery initially, so we can start turning some of that lovely iron ore that we're dragging out the ground into iron, which will be the first step towards making our own weapons. Because of course we are going to want to expand our militia, so that we have more than just one unit of spears available, because not only are the brigands going to be causing us problems in the not too distant future, but we're also going to be having our other lovely, friendly, I'm sure very friendly AI come and knock on our door sooner rather than later, I imagine. 138 regional wealth, we'll get some more beets planted, and we'll wait to get some carrots in there, and then it'll be on to getting a few properties set up with level 2, because we'll have some foraged vegetables available. I think we didn't have quite enough beets available at the end of last year to get to the next level of upgrade, or at least if we did, we quickly ran out of planks. So it stopped us from upgrading, but this year hopefully, as we have a few more burgish plots with vegetables planted up in the gardens, that isn't going to be an issue. Now, I've not been paying attention, and we've got no available living spaces, but plenty of monthly immigration that we should be taking advantage of. So let's look to set up a few more burgish plots. Now, in line with making a more organic settlement than I normally would, I think it probably makes sense to try and fill up some of these gaps we've got. Again, I'm not really that keen on having burgish plots that have expansion spaces, like that one there, when we're just using them for a small burgish plot, because I feel those families end up doing a lot of nothing. Or at least they used to, and maybe that's not as much of an issue in the game as it used to be. I would also like to start thinking about getting down some lovely, I think is the word you can gather here that I'm going for. Some rather wonderful, that's another word, orchards. So let's continue this road around here. And then tie this in down here and down the curvature a little bit. I think that looks nice. And then I want to see if we can take a burgish plot this end. Yeah. A nice small burgish plot there, but with, probably want to make it slightly larger. If we come off the bottom here like this and come round, so we can have an expansion in there, and that gives us a nice large back garden as well, so that we can get down plenty of trees. So we'll build that there, and then we'll see if we can't mimic that on this side. We want to reduce that down to 1. Not quite as efficient. Let's see if we take that like so. No, we do need to come across. What if we come across from this side? And down here. Where's the line? Where will be the dotted line? I can't see the dotted line. Where is? Is that just no back garden space at all? Is that what that's telling me? That's no good at all, is it? Right, we'll come from this side then. Fine. If you're going to be like that, fine. Click already. Okay. That's a reasonable start in any event. Let's get a few more animal pens popped in over here, because we can always turn them to more specialised use once they've already gotten a fair number of animals for us. We'll get a worker in at the bloomery and take one family out of the mining pit. So we've got a few families available for construction. And already we're starting to grow a nice little settlement around the roads there. No bandits turning up as yet, which is nice. Just one more bandit camp and we might have enough to claim another region. Although, with the strong source of iron we have here, it may be that we don't need to expand too much. Now we've got 164, so let's go ahead and order in another horse. And we'll plant some carrots potentially, or we could start to get a few animals in. Let's get a few goats. Order in a few goats. Come along. Splendid, 4 goats. And then we'll pop down these with orchard extensions. And then I wonder if we can continue to sort of mimic the shape we've gone for here. We come off. Perhaps if we put a road, kind of an S-shaped road in between here. And then do this here. It's an interesting shape. Wonder how that'll play out in terms of usable space. If we come off the middle here, how far can we follow that round? Take that all the way up there. Yeah, it's a goodly sized burgish block. I wonder if we can even go shorter here. Take it up to that corner. Nope. Nope. Yes. Nope. That's interesting. I like interesting. Interesting's fun. Yeah, we'll build those 2 there. Now we're getting a little farther away from our marketplace, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that, and maybe we need to set up another one as we expand further over this way. Although we are going to have more space here for expanding our smaller burgish plots. And with that in mind, let's see about continuing that road there, and also continuing the road we've got down here. Down by the lake, out to there, connect that in there, and then maybe also connect that in here. Whoop, and then we have a bandit camp, same place pretty much as last time. Let's rally our troops while we continue to press forward domestically. We'll get expansions built on such properties as are available for us to do so. And we want to plant some carrots in there. And we're now tracking the movements of those rather nasty bandits we've got on the way. Yep, and there's the men. How have we lost someone? No, we haven't. He just wasn't ready. He hadn't quite caught up with his lads, his other friends. So I think we'll come in from this direction, so we're not fighting through a thicket of trees, where of course we won't be able to use our shield wall. How are we doing for production when it comes to iron? We've got 24 iron slabs. Another building that we're going to need to get set up over here, and what's turning out to be a small industrial quarter for us, is we need to be making our very own tools. Very own smoothie, I was going to say that. Very own tools with the smithy. So without tools, we're not going to be able to maintain anything. So we'll get that constructing there as our military move into position. And of course, we need to get the fishermen back in the hut so that we have food production alongside the vegetables we're getting in. And the enemy have started to move, so we'll set up along the road here. And we'll set to stand our ground as the bandits charge in. Right, man. You should be well practiced at this by now. You've got 25 experience in absolutely smacking bandit bottom. Okay? We'll let them break their charge. And then we'll press in. Come on, lads. Stick together. Protect the man next to you. Thigh to neck. Oh, bother. Oh, we've lost Gary and Neville. They were fine men. Well, we've won, but at what cost? Lost 2 fine fighting men. That's a real shame, because obviously we had gone without losing anyone up until this point. But that gives us up to 1k influence. That belongs to my treasury now. And that means that hopefully next time we won't even need to deploy our own men, because we'll be able to hire in some thugs to do the dirty work for us. 49 regional wealth, so we'll order in another goat. And we'll get some more extensions down here. We've got those 2, yeah, so maybe these 2 will also be orchards. You men can go back to your day jobs. And we'll get a family working at the smithy as well. I'm so terribly sorry for your loss. It's very sad, I know. Right, why aren't we upgrading to level 2? Come on. You've plenty of vegetables. You know, got no excuses really. You actually are growing your own vegetables and you're saying you don't have any. You can see you picking them out the ground. Honestly, lazy people. There's only 10 beets available at the market though, in all fairness. That'll go up over time. And we're starting to produce our own tools from the smithy. We don't need to be making more than 50 tools, I don't think. That should keep us nice and well equipped. If there's anything over that, we're going to start to want to make our own weapons. Of course, we can't do that until we get up to level 2 anyway. So until then, we might as well keep getting in some more goats, because eventually we can start turning the hides we're producing from them into some lovely leather. We'll of course want to get our orchards planted sooner rather than later as well, because they do take a couple of years to grow up. We've still got 4 available burgish plot living spaces, but you know, things go quickly. So let's come over here and set up our next granary and storehouse. And then behind those, maybe in here, we'll have a little market stall area. Just need space for 6, ideally anyway. That'll do. And there's water over here as well, which is good. So we can get down a local water source too. And then let's extend some burgish plots. Gosh, how many can we get in across here? Not the most efficient use of space to fill out to the edge, but I do quite like how it looks. Maybe let's do this in 2 sections. We could bring this road in a little bit, I suppose. We don't need to go all the way out to the edge. We come up to here. Turn off snapping momentarily. How far up do we need to come to get a plot on the back of each of these? Could do something like that. I do think we're going to fill out to the edge. It looks so much neater. What if we leave that little gap there and just do this section here? Those look nice. Okay. So that's what we're aiming for, really. But of course, we need a few more timber to get there. In fact, how much do we need? We need 22 timber. So let's go over to our... Whoop, actually, upgrade time, so we'll take care of that first. We'll go over to the saw pit. And let's change this to 15. And let's get down a second logging camp. So we can store some of those extra logs we're chopping down. And actually, it might make sense to have this over here to take advantage of this section of the forests nearby as well. Grand. And then let's get some of these burgish plots upgraded so that we can keep pressing forwards. And they can also then generate us some passive income, which is always pleasant. We're going to run out of planks here. Actually, we might not. We've got 100 planks set aside. Good stuff. What did we run out of? Lumber. Well, we've got that additional logging camp going down over here. Now, to service that, we probably should have a couple of oxen as well. So we'll build a couple of hitching posts, and eventually stables to take care of that. And we'll continue upgrading as and when the resources become available to us. Let's order in another ox. And there we are, up to the medium village already. Got 55 iron, 24 iron ore, so it's reasonably balanced. We don't want to go upsetting the ox cart too much in terms of that at the moment. We are going to want to start exporting things other than charcoal though. But to do that we need to start making things other than charcoal, and now we've got a couple of level 2 burgage plots, we can start to specialise a little bit more and perhaps even make some weapons with the aim of selling them as well as equipping our own troops. We'll also be needing enough planks to make things like shields. With that in mind, we'll add a plank production over here next to our logging camp. So we've got a bit of closer production to this area here, so we're not taking the logs too far all the time back to the starting area where we have our first saw pit, which is positioned in here. Trading post wise, we've got 2 families. We've actually got 3 horses, so we'll get a 3rd family working there. And let's keep popping these level 2s. Order in 1 more goat to fill up that burgage plot there. We've only got 2 more available dwelling spaces, so we are going to need some of that lumber pretty soon to start building some additional new ones for people to move into. Get a couple of workers at that logging camp as well. What are our neighbours up to? Yellow is looking reasonably large, but they don't seem to have much farmland. Blue looks similar, and they're taking advantage of their quarry and the clay. And green. Yeah, okay, I think we've probably caught up a little bit with our AI competitors. We'll hold on to our influence for the time being, because claiming these regions when we're not intending to settle them is just going to do things like jam up the number of bandits that can spawn, and also it means that the AI here will be claiming our region all the sooner because they won't be able to claim any of the free regions. And I don't know about you, but I don't feel quite ready to fight yet. We're still 248 days until the raiders show up, so we've got a little bit of time before we have to deal with that as well. Right, we have to make a decision here, don't we? Let's get down a whole host of dwellings. And I think what I'm going to do is we're actually going to come off this side of the road and fill back out this way. And do a little something like this. Because then they all get to face the lakeside, which I think is rather nice, and they can go through their back gardens to access the goods behind them. Okay. I would like to go for that denser layout if we can, so we'll just keep shrinking this down here until we've got a number that we can build. Don't love this one on the end without a space at the rear, so I think what we might do, at least momentarily, is build a road there to straighten that up. And then match this in here. Okay, right, we're going to do that. And then we'll delete this road. And put one across the back here. And then we might have a connecting point here. And maybe these burgage plots on this side we'll actually put this way around. Maybe a little bit of back and forth there, I think. Put a little connecting road in there for the time being as well. That can be like a little back alley space, I suppose. Right, let's get these upgraded to level 2. Ooh, we've got an additional space we can set up there as well, eventually. Upgrade those, and pretty soon we'll want to get a few bits of bobs planted in them as well. 81 regional wealth. How are we doing when it comes to fuel production? We could do with a bit more. Let's get a second family working at the woodcutter's lodge. And it might be an idea to get a woodcutter's lodge set up over on this side here, as well as a forester's hut as well, so we can start to do things perhaps a little bit more sustainably. I'll put that one on the King's Road. And then it probably makes sense to connect these roads up here. So we'll just carry this on around the edge and maybe gently curve that back in there. Okay. And we've obviously got a problem here where there's a lot of logs sat around. That's telling me we don't have enough oxen. So we'll order an ox and upgrade both of those to be stables. With a couple of these level 2s, in fact we've got a few here we haven't specialised. So we've got a few families moving in, so that's quite quickly going to take care of the unassigned families in terms of keeping the numbers up. We're going to build a bower's workshop, and we're going to build a blacksmith's workshop, and then we have a bandit camp spotted all the way over there. Let's have a look and see what we can do in terms of hiring people in. So they're nice and cheap. So they arrive in Beam, Felsweg, and that's not really an option. So Beam or Felsweg. Felsweg is much closer. So I think we're going to hire in the Archer boys. So we'll sign that contract. We're doing this as much for influence as we are for money. And we'll march them up there. Going back down here. Oh, requirements not met. Meats, fishes, animal produce. Are we out of fish? Gosh. In fact, we're probably struggling a little bit, aren't we? Yeah, more than a little bit with granary supply. So let's open up this granary here. And we're going to take a worker from the logging camp to do it. And get them working. Where do you work, sir? Are you this granary worker? Excellent. Couldn't live in a better spot if you tried. That's good. We'll get that upgrade going as well. Right. Let's go over to our military. Good. And we're going to send in the heavy boys. We're going to set everyone to fire at will. Send you in there. Send you in here. And you're going to give ground as and when you need to. You're going to provide covering fire. Right, and we'll slow things down a little bit. We want you to engage. And we might just run you away, actually. And turn around and shoot. Hopefully we can do a fair bit of damage before they even hit. And then we'll just engage from behind. Missiles in the bottom. Not a good way to start your day. And indeed, they've broken before we've even broken a sweat or lost a soul. Let's go and take care of that bandit camp. Want to make sure that we do this before we need to pay them again in 7 days. Because we're tight and we don't want to pay people more than once. Okay. Go on to my treasury. And we're done with you. Thank you kindly for your service. Food is up to 14 months, which is great, but we're not looking so hot on fuel. We've already assigned that additional family at the Woodcutter's Lodge. So we'll keep an eye on that. We may need to get another family assigned over there. We'll just wait for a couple of people to move in. We've got plenty of monthly migration. And then they can start to take up a few more of the jobs that need doing. We'll get you upgraded. Over here, we want to be making bows, which we are already. It's fantastic. We'll set that to maybe 70 bows, no more than that. And we'll set up production here. Good. It's already doing it. We're getting spears in. And hopefully they start arriving into stock for too long. We'll of course need shields to complement those. So we'll look to get one of these families over here as they move in potentially, although you are going to go and work at that storehouse. Maybe we'll just do it with one of these over here, and we'll lose one of these goats. And we'll get you set up as a joinery, so we can start making some shields. Up to 111 regional wealth. Let's order in another ox. And we don't have anyone available for construction, and that's because I've taken someone and assigned them to be a joinery. So we're going to have to unassign one of these logging camp workers. Come over here and unassign one of you. Up to 120 regional wealth. We'll get some quinces planted in there. Upgrade you. And I think what we'll do is we'll just wait a minute and get a few more families move into these burgage plots, which will free up our economy a little bit, and then we'll look to start making some further strides. Alright, so it's January. We've had quite a few families move in over here. We've got a few unassigned, and we've still got 4 available living spaces. It's 46 days until the raiders appear, and we've built up a little stockpile of spears and shields. We've also established trade on spears, so we can start to bring in a bit more money. We're going to go ahead and get a second unit of spear militia set up. Hopefully the raiders don't come for us, they go for one of our neighbours, but with 10 days to go, what we'll probably do is look to hire in some mercenaries to hopefully protect ourselves without taking too many losses of our domestic militia. Now, something else we're going to want to get going as we move towards hopefully clothing production is a sheep farm. So let's get down a sheep farm. I think we'll do that over here somewhere. And yeah, let's put it on this side here. And we'll get an initial pasture space tucked in here. And then a secondary one, much larger I think. And we'll put that around the sheep farm itself. Maybe not the whole space, maybe about this half here. Yeah, take up 52 there. And that leaves a bit of space in here, potentially for some either industry or some more burgage plots, which we're going to need shortly. With that in mind, let's bring this road down here. And let's see if we can't fill out some more of this space here. And what if we click there and there and there? Okay, some interesting looking burgage plots, if not the best use of space. But I don't mind that. We're just shy on timber to make it happen though. So I think maybe we shrink it down to here or something. And what if we curve this road? We'll not like to use that space for anything else, are we? But that we just as well fill it. So we go like that there and build those. And let's build a road alongside there. And that gives a little bit of space in here for something a little bit later down the line. Talking of later down the line, we've also built up... Oh, there's a bandit camp sighted. Oh, right on our border. And actually, this would be a good time to remember that I said about 30 seconds ago that with about 15 days to go, we'd hire in some mercenaries. And as you can see, I've completely forgotten and we've not done that. So that seems like it would be a jolly good thing to take care of, wouldn't it? Who is available? My dear sirs, good day. Some brigands. We've got the good old Archie Barchies and Briggy Wiggies. And we've also got the rather expensive flock of crazy geese. And they arrive in Beam, which is near us. So we're going to sign that contract. And we're also going to deploy our own military and rally them over here because they're too close for comfort. And where are our mercenaries? Up here, please. Thank you kindly. I don't see you. Where are you? Hello? Oh. Ah. Beam, not beam. There's more than one beam, and I have fallen for that succinctly. Okay. Right. So, far from being close to us, they've got quite the run to get to us, so we're just going to set them running right away. Otherwise, they're definitely not going to be here when the raiders arrive. They might not anyway. Right, well, let's march our own men to take care of the bandits at the very least. Having said that, maybe we keep them here for a moment, just till we see where these raiders appear. Because if they appear down here, we'll need them to hold off the raiders as long as we possibly can until our additional men arrive. We'll just have to see how it plays through. In the meantime, our town should be able to, or village rather, should be able to take care of itself because we've got plenty of construction going on. We've got food coming in, we've got fuel, and we're exporting excess goods as well. We can probably set up an export actually, if we have the money, which it looks we do, on warbows. So we're going to export warbows. We'll keep a stockpile of 70, seems sensible to me. And what we'll do then is we'll take off the production limits. They'll just keep making them for sale. Speed time along a bit, see where these raiders arrive. And we'll wait for that pop up at the top and then jump to wherever it happens. Okay, okay. They probably are going to come for us, but there's also a decent chance that we get reinforcements before the battle is done. So we'll keep charging them down here, and we'll array our men in a position ready to take on the enemy. We'll shield wall up and await the assault that comes our way. At the very least, these militias should be able to take care of the brigands, which may pay for their wages, I suppose. It's not the end of the world. And goodness, sounds of lots of angry men. Let's get another oxen ordered. Our men are ready to defend their homeland. And in anticipation of their impending success, we're going to do what any good forethought planner would do. Build a corpse pit. And we're going to build that suitably far away from our main settlement. Perhaps out here. Might take a little while to build, but, you know, we'll set the priority fairly low so they can carry on with their other projects in the meantime. And we want to get a worker in the sheep farm. And of course, we're also, we must not forget, going to need a livestock trader. So we'll get him, and I think we'll pop him down over here, not far from our trading post, so we can start to import some sheep with a view to making some lovely woolen clothes. Where are these enemy units now? Which way have they gone? It's possible they've gone this way towards our other forces. Not going to count on it though. Sure enough, here they are, emerging from the edge of the forest. So I think we'll go for our standard tactic. We'll try and hold them initially, and then we'll push in aggressively. Hopefully that will lead to minimal losses. There's only 2 of their units. There is more than that. I'll set you to fire at will. Lost one of those trees there. They are coming on. Right. Okay. Push forward. And actually, I think we're probably just going to smash those guys. Push in straight away. We don't want them getting around us into our village. And it's a fairly easy fight so long as they split up like this. There we go. They're dealt with. We'll reform that shield wall. And we'll do the same over here. And actually, we're going to need to up priority of that because we're going to bury those people fairly quickly. Right. And let's move in our other forces. Albeit at a walk now because they're all very tired. But given their superior numbers, I don't foresee that being a problem. It may be that those other brigands that spawned in went in that direction towards our other men. Where are they? Well, those ones are coming out to fight. So we'll engage them. And was that it? Is it just 2 units? That doesn't seem like very many at all, does it? Well, plenty of experience for these troops down here now. And we've taken care of those brigands. I think we'll keep these guys located as they are for the time being, just in case some brigands spring out of the air. Send that to our own treasury and disband them. And like I said, we'll just keep our own troops on sentinel there. We need to get some other plantations going, so we'll get some pears in there, which takes most of our money available to us. But that's okay. It's definitely going to be worth it later on, and we'll get a worker or 2 at the corpse pit to take care of corpses that we have generated through our epic victories, with no losses, I do believe, which is always good to see. And we've got the rest of those burgage plots being popped together at a fairly good pace. How are we doing in terms of trade? Let's go up here and go to records. So we've made next to nothing from spear export, but I think it's because we set the limit of what we can sell fairly high, and we've made loads from charcoal. We should probably look to start exporting things like iron and iron ore at some point as well. We could, of course, when we've got a few more families, start to make some even more exotic goods and sell those. We'll disband those men so they can go to their jobs. We're going to work it in at the forester's hut here to make sure that we have forests for the future. We are down to 5 months of fuel, so let's get a woodcutter at this lodge here. And then to complement that, we'll get down a charcoal kiln here as well for a bit of local supply. We will want to get the granary and storehouse upgraded too, but it looks like we haven't quite got enough people to do that just yet. Hopefully the livestock trading post will be done before too long, and then we can start to import a couple of sheep so that we can start our various breeding programs. And we still need, yeah, a good 300 coin over there to get those active. We want to be importing sheep. We want to import... we click off it. Good grief, man. What are you doing? We probably want to import, say, 5. And you'll need a worker, obviously. Just going to unassign someone from the mining pit and put you here briefly. So hopefully that means that that worker will be the same one. Yep, and they won't be living too far away. Now, we've moved, obviously, some additional people over here in terms of spaces for people to live. And that means that we probably need to put some accommodation down here, specifically with the aim of providing a workforce for our mines here that live nice and locally. So let's build a road down here, and let's get some burgish plots along it. And these can be built in maybe 3 sections. And we do want them to have rear gardens, but we don't want them to have expansions. We haven't actually got enough goods for more than that at the moment anyway. We'll wait a few seconds and hopefully we'll get a few more tick in, so we'll be able to build these 3 here. As we see our oxen deliver the goods for the first 3. Come along, chaps. There we go. Build those there as well. So that's 6 workers for down here. Also we've got the iron to be made as well. And we'll probably extend that a little further later on as well. And we'll put a road out behind them. And it may be that we put a granary and a storehouse down here as well at some point, but we'll see how we go before doing that. It may be that they're plenty close enough to here, in which case an additional granary worker here might be a better solution. Speaking of which, we'll get a second worker over at this granary because our markets are looking a little pressed with the number of people we have working at them presently. And we still need to wait for some extra goods. We really are spending everything that we're making, aren't we? Ah, I forgot about you, didn't I? You're done. So we can get rid of you. That frees up a worker, doesn't it? Good stuff. And you can go and work at this charcoal kiln. I've got a little bit of money set around. Let's order in an ox and get the first of our apple orchards planted. And this is looking like a fairly nice, pretty little settlement we've got here. We've got plenty of spaces for people to moving in. We've got some lovely lakeside vistas here. The old fishing lake. And I'd say we're making some solid progress. Our competitors have yet to claim any land. We've got a lovely 2.5k influence stored away, so perhaps we'll be the ones to make the first move, you never know. That'd be novel, wouldn't it? Usually the AI is all over. Firewood-wise, we're struggling for firewood as opposed to charcoal, so we'll get another worker at that woodcutter's lodge. I think this space here will be a few more burgish plots dedicated towards the production of vegetables, but we don't need to build those just yet. We've got plenty of people that need to move in for the moment. Now, of course, when it comes to upgrading to the next level, first off we need a few planks actually, so we can build some animal pens there. Yes, but when it comes to upgrading to level 3, we of course need garments. And we need beverages. Garments we can do fairly easily. We've set the seeds for that by buying in our first couple of sheep. But beverages are going to be a little bit more tricky. We don't have the fertility in this region, realistically, to grow our own. So I think we'll probably just go ahead and import those come the time, which of course means strengthening our regional economy. That should be no problem at all. I'm thinking we're going to export things like metal parts and halberds, those sorts of things. But for that we'll need to expand and grow our iron production, which is what we're doing here with these burgish plots. I'm actually going to delete this road because I think we can have something looking a little more organic behind it. We come off the back slightly and yeah, curve that out like so, and then we'll just fill that in so that they've definitely got rear access. No, that looks awful, doesn't it? They'll just have to cope with that. So that potentially sets up a line for a second row of burgish plots there. We've also got space around this side potentially. So if we put a curved road here, that might be a good spot for a few more. We've of course got the clay, which would be good to take advantage of there at some point as well. We're at 80% approval, so actually at +2 monthly migration, which is wonderful. We'll get that second lot of apples planted down. That may not hold. We'll have to wait and see with that one. And finally we've got a few planks being produced. We'll wait a moment because we've only got the 4 before we go ahead and go on a spending spree. So once again I think we'll enter a bit of a phase of consolidation, and I'll come back to you once we've had a few more people move in. We've continued to push forward. We've got a few more properties being upgraded to the next level and people moving in, and the AI has made their first move. Endris has moved to claim Blitzholes, and we're not going to do anything about it. He's got a military. I don't want to have to fight it. We've got our own military, of course, but like I said, it's not a fight worth fighting at the moment. We've got an economy to build, we've got a people to grow. Now, we've definitely got a worker shortage, and although we've got a few more properties left to be moved into down here, they're primarily designed to support our industrial area over here. And we do have a bit of a problem at the moment with granary supply chain issues as well. So we're going to need more granaries. And in fact, we'll get a third worker there to help alleviate some of those problems. So that means expanding. And I think we'll expand into this area here, as well as this area over here. Now, I'd like that space down here to contain a granary and storehouse of its own, and possibly be a little cul-de-sac. So to that end, what I think we're going to do is come off with a little intersection like so, and then we're going to pop down a granary and a storehouse roughly in the center of where we want to put this. So granary there, and I'll put a storehouse next to it. And do we have a water source over here? That would be good. We do. It's very hard to see because it's... we don't actually. Oh well, never mind. And then we'll also need space for a market, of course, as well. So let's surround these with a rough teardrop shape is kind of what I was imagining. Keep it fairly tight. And do something just like this, fairly organic looking. Maybe a bit tight around on the right hand side here. Flash on the bottom and then drag around there. It's quite the shape, isn't it? Anyway, and then I think then surround this with burgish plots. And do it in little sections. Maybe even do it individually. I do want a road connecting off down here. Maybe actually it would make sense to go more like this. Yeah. Okay. And then we can put some burgages in here. And let's keep them... Again, we don't want them to be... We don't want expansion spaces, but we do want extension spaces. So put one there, and then we'll do these each individually. We make that one any smaller. Might have to turn off road snapping to do this. Good, that's what I'm after. So we'll snap the first section. If we can get it to snap round. Oh, lovely. And then we'll turn off snapping for the follow-up. Obviously colliding with something there. Would we turn off snap for that bit? No, it's snapping down here, isn't it? Okay. Maybe we'll have a little gap there. And we'll come around here. Can we fill that space? New extension. Stop snapping. Good grief. I clicked the snap. Let's expand. Oh. Although it's got that expansion on the side, I quite like how that looks. So we may even take that and fill that whole space if we can. Oh, perfect. Good shenanigans. And then continue this up around here. Turn off snapping once again. Making this rather tedious, aren't I? No, we want it to look good though. Yep, that's pretty good. Turn off snapping. I wish there was a hotkey for turning off snapping. There probably is. I'm just too lazy to find out what it is. If you know what the snapping hotkey is, do feel free to let me know. Because while I can't be bothered to read the game's tooltips, I can most definitely be bothered to read your comments. Right, we'll speed time along there. That gives us something to get on with at least anyway. And then we'll put in a market stall. Can we fit that in? Probably have to do it behind. Yeah, like so. And that can be the start of a little community down there that will be primarily focused on mining. And as we can, we will of course upgrade those burgage plots. When it comes to the military, we can now probably get our third unit of spear. And then maybe we'll also get a unit of archer as well. Now obviously the number of people we have available is becoming an issue. But what this will do is allow us to get the maximum number of units we can put together before we run into the issue of having too many units compared to having your retinues. In fact, what we think we might do, I do quite like going for crossbowmen. So we'll get, what about 3 units of crossbowmen? Yeah, no, it's 6, isn't it? Okay. I like that though. We'll go for 3 units of spear and 3 units of crossbows. Now of course means we'll need to get some crossbow production set up sooner rather than later as well. And we will look to do that just as soon as some of these constructions start to take shape and we start to get on top of the granary and storehouse supply chain issues that we're currently experiencing. We've got 159 metal slabs stocked up. And we're selling warbows. Iron ore is a limiting factor at the moment. Let's get an additional family working so we get that second mine open once again. And planks is also a bit of a constraint at the moment. I have built a second saw pit down here to help take care of that. And we probably are going to need to expand more into forestation as time goes on as well. Now there's lots of burgage plots over here due to the plank shortage that we've been experiencing that we haven't got extensions put on yet. So that's something else we want to take care of sooner rather than later as well. And as we know, our enemies are getting ever more aggressive and larger as well. Good grief. It's a fairly large AI town. And I feel it's probably time, that is once we have some planks, that we look to construct our own manor as well, because that's something that we are sorely missing at the moment. How are we doing for sheep? Up to 9, so we've probably got a little bit of wool coming in. Yep, 22 wool. So of course a weaver's workshop is something else we'll need to start considering as well. And once again the phrase sooner rather than later will pop out again. We're obviously using quite a few of our planks for our domestic production over here. So I think what we might do is get a additional planky boy set up. And we'll set them up over here on this side. So, where do we want to put this? Maybe let's go here. And we'll get another logging camp situated there as well. Good stuff. And hopefully, the number of unassigned families we have will start to catch up with what we need. As soon as we have people moving in here, we'll need to get them into the storehouse and granary. And it would be good to upgrade those in anticipation of that. But now we have a few planks, I think probably the thing to do is get our manor put down. Now, where are we going to put our manor? I'm not sure it's going to be a heavily fortified manor, but it might make sense to have this. Could put it on the border with our enemy here. Well, not an enemy yet, are they? But I think we can probably safely assume they will be one day. Or we could put it down here to try and protect against future bandits coming in, as we see some spawn there. Okay. We'll go somewhere. It could go here, actually. That'd be quite an interesting place to put one. It would control this strait then, wouldn't it? I like that idea. Something a little different. So we'll put our manor down just here. And we'll get down a garrison tower when we can. We'll put that just off behind there. Close that. And then build a road out here from our settlement. And await construction. And in the meantime, we'll rally our forces to go and deal with these brigands that have assembled on our very border. Right. We'll go aggressive and we'll just absolutely tear them a new one. Let's set up here. Set a center formation here. And then we'll set up 2 flanking parties. Advance with our main unit. Right, there they are. We'll set up there. Push these units off to the side. Pull these behind here. Ugh, definitely want them pointing the right way, don't we? Bring you around here. Right, let's engage with you. And we'll engage with you. Good. Right. End result is they're in the center. That's what we wanted. Boxed in, but with a way to run away as well on one side. Good. 0 losses. Alright. Disband 2 units, and then we'll send one on to deal with the remainder of the camp. And a lovely, efficient taken care of. And I was going to unassign some corpse pitiers, and we will unassign one. But we will need the other one to maintain there, because we just, once again, slaughtered a bunch of people on our own land. Which it turns out isn't terribly good for sanitation. Good stuff. A few more families moving in. We will send you boys home. Manor has started construction. Ore is being ironed, iron is being ored. Just take a moment to appreciate our rather lovely settlement that we've grown up here. We have started to expand more away from the lake area, but the manor is going to put us so surely, definitely back in that area over there. Succinctly, completely, utterly. Yes, right. How are we doing? Plank production seems to have recovered somewhat. Let's get a worker at that logging camp. And an additional worker at the mine here. We've still got plenty of surface deposit to work our way through. We might actually get another one there as well. And as timber rather, starts to pick back up, we'll continue to build our burgish pots in here. What's wrong with that? Doesn't seem to like where we've got that snapping to, does it? Why don't we come off here? Like so. Yeah, that worked. Don't really want to come around that far though. Yeah, that'll do. And then around this side here. Good. And then just keep fanning that around. All the while making sure we've got that space on the back. Again, don't really want to be having burgish plots. More than one family. Goodness, this is properly irregular stuff, isn't it? Nope. 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 Yes. Oh dear. Once again, typical is losing the plot. That does imply he knew where the plot was to start with, which is, I'll admit, a questionable affair. Okay, right. Now I think we'll just keep coming around the outside here. Stick to the little plan we've been doing. Probably a bit too far there. A bit too far again. A bit longer maybe? Yeah, that was the issue. And then we'll put one back in like that. And then another one like this. Uh-oh. Claimage going on. Who be claiming what? Splendid. Schiffel. Up here, green is claiming. So again, that time we've got now, the kind of calm before the storm is running out, and I really love how that's coming together there. It's properly irregular, but somehow it just looks right. Got a few people moved in here. What do you do for a job? You're unassigned. Good. Now you're going to go and work at that storehouse. And you, my friend, are going to go and work at that granary. And we're going to get both upgraded to the next level. Where is the nearest well? We'll put a well over there just in case. And it might be worth upgrading our first well, which is somewhere in here, to stone, so it services a few more people as well. Now, with the plank situation on its way to being remedied, make sure we get these upgrades done over here. He says, we've just done a load of construction. I suppose that's causing a bit of an issue. We've got 180, 112 large shields. Maybe let's slow down shield production. That's obviously going to be taking up a few planks. Maybe we'll cap that at 120. And it might even be worth, so we don't have a lack of planks for construction. We set a plank reserve of 30 on all of the domestic productions here we have that require planks. And hopefully that'll give us a little bit of breathing room to just make sure we're not waiting for planks to come in for construction, and instead it's our production that instead is hampered to a degree. Food and fuel looking absolutely stellar, no problems there whatsoever. And that may have been the solution we needed for the planks. So we'll get some more animal pens in here. Probably look to get a few piggies going in there. And did we ever get the fourth horsey? We didn't, so we'll order that fourth horse. Ready for when we have a fourth worker there. And we'll get a few more animal pens over here. And here. And you. And you. And you. And just as soon as those are completed, we'll order in a variety of animals. And a few upgrades up here ready to go on as well. We'll of course oblige just as soon as we can. Yeah, looks like taking care of those industries seems to have solved our plank shortage problem that we've been experiencing. I've got a few here ready for ordering. We'll get some pigs in over here. And we'll do the same with those two. And we'll get some more goats in over here. And then one more animal pen on the end over there. Oh, goat there apparently. I was going to order a pig, but there we are. Maybe that one over there can be a pig instead. 3 unassigned families, but we'll just keep waiting for them to move in. And we still have the granary supply issues to take care of as well. Army is starting to fill out a little bit. And we've of course got our retinue assembled. Our man is over here. Hello. And just one plank. Nope, we've got one plank. Not one plank shy. We've only got one plank. Yeah, we'll need to wait for planks to get the garrison tower assembled. That's not a problem. So you'll be pig. And you will be as well. And there we are. Felsberg is being claimed. So that'll be all 3 of the free regions claimed, which means before long we're going to need to dispute a claim pressed upon us. We're certainly doing well on the money front. Oh, goodness, there's their armies sally forth. But of course we are going to need that money for buying in commodities that we need. Let's go ahead and get down some more industry in the form of the sounds of war there, absolutely rattling me to the core. A weaver's workshop, which will pop down over here in this space. And we'll also want to get a tannery. We'll pop down there as well. And we've got 15 available living spaces, so that's going to tide us over for the moment, isn't it? And is that everyone over here dealt with in terms of upgrades? It looks like it. So we can come and focus down here now. Let's get how we're doing in terms of making iron from our iron ore. Yeah, so we're outstripping with iron ore mining now, so let's get another family working at the bloomery. And then let's get you all set up with some animal pens. Once again, waiting on the planks. Seems to be a real bottleneck we're experiencing here. Although they do come in quite quickly. And let's build forester's hut here. And possibly one over here as well. Have we got a local worker for this tannery? Might be worth building a couple of burgages just in here if we can. What can we fit? If you don't have an extension, actually, that wouldn't be the end of the world, because you can... Oh, that's good. You can all go and work at these two industries anyway. So we'll build those there. Let's get a second lot of workers at the granary and the storehouse here. How are we doing for supply? Might even get a third there straight away. And we're starting to get on top of that granary issue that we've been having now. Animal produce and fruit shouldn't be too much of an issue, because we've got fruits that are hopefully on the way. And animal produce, we are drastically increasing the number of goats that we have. And garments, we are just setting up, as we said before, a weaver's workshop over here. And there'll be an animal pen, and you'll be an extension. It would be good if we could get the happiness up above 80% so we can get some additional migration. And it might be that to do that, we need to start buying something in, and we do have the economy for that potentially. And it will be worth starting to do a little bit of taxation as well, actually. So we'll just do a 3% tax to start with, which of course is going to have its own effect on happiness, unfortunately. Get an expansion in there. And then with happiness on the mind, perhaps it would be a good idea to get down a small tavern so that we can start making our people jolly. And that looks as good a spot as any for that to go down. Perhaps we should buy in the stone, etc. we need for the church. Perhaps a good way to get in the tiles, though, would be to get down a mining pit, which will pop down there, and we'll get a few people working there. And goodness, we need to get on top of ordering here, don't we? So we'll get a bunch of goats in down here. And then maybe in here we'll do a combination. We'll do some chickens. We haven't done any chickens yet. Let's get a bunch of chickens down in this section here. And then we'll do some more animal pens down here with the aim of getting in some more pigs so we can start to make sure we're taking care of our meat production. So continue that all the way around here. Good stuff. And we might as well do the last couple here as well. They're all ready for as people move in. Be good to get our 4th trade post there, because they're at some stage as well. Let's go to work at that forester's hut. And we'll order a pig in there in anticipation of that family moving in. And we'll just pop these upgrades as and when we are able to do so. Good stuff. Once again then, I think what we'll do is we'll upgrade these. Tavern's been constructed, so let's go over to trade. And let's get a 4th family working on trade. And we're going to go straight to importing ale. Set up that trade route. Let's say we want 50. To start with, we're going to use that as a happiness boost. And afterwards, we'll be using it as a route to upgrade to level 3 as well. But of course, we will need garments to start coming in to do that. And we won't do that until we've got families working here that can move into the weaver's workshop to make that yarn. And then we'll need to set up production somewhere in here, change someone over to be a tailor's workshop instead. Let's make better use of that iron we're producing then. So we actually are going to take one of these burg plots here. We'll wait for a family to move in before we change over its production. But I think we're going to take it to a blacksmith's workshop. There we go, someone moving in. And we're going to start producing some other manner of weapon that we can sell onto the open market. So we tick over onto +2 approval there, without even distributing any of that ale we're about to start buying in. So that is a good sign. Every little certainly helps. And good, we've had someone move in here, so we'll order you a pig and get you an upgrade, sir. Oh, and we'll do the same for you over here, sir. At least the pig at any degree. And still got a few constructions going on there. Just the one family working on construction at the moment, but I don't foresee that being a terribly big issue. And look at that. What a lovely little organic settlement. I love this little cul-de-sac we've got over here. Looks like a little nucleated village. Very nice. Like I said, something a little different from what I normally do. And the world stage is certainly set for a bit of a conflict, isn't it? How's our military looking? Got a bit of a people shortage, haven't we? But as we start to tax our people, we should at least have, you know, enough money to buy in some mercenaries should the day come when someone presses a claim against us. I feel like it's been a while since we've ordered an ox, so that's probably a good thing to go ahead and do. It's also been a while since I built a stable, so let's go ahead and pop down... Oh, perfect, fit 2 in there. 2 hitching posts, which we can later upgrade to stables. 550 left on that deposit, so that's fine. Not actually finished construction of that mining pit yet. I guess there's been so much upgrading to do that we just haven't gotten around to it. Right, so we've got that additional blacksmith here. And what we're going to have you make? Perhaps pole arms? Maybe actually we shouldn't have... Maybe we should have set you up to produce something else altogether. Armour, for example. Oh well. And how much is the trade on pole arms? Is it more... It looks like side arms are actually better. Okay. Cancel that. We're not making pole arms. You're making side arms. And we're going to trade away those side arms for cash money. Establish a trade route. We want to export everything we're making. We're not going to keep hold of any of those. I tend to prefer to keep my own soldiers as spear militia because they have a much higher defense than other units. And that means that I can hire in mercenaries to go on the attack, but I can keep my own domestic troops as my defensive lines. And they're much less likely to get killed because they have a higher defense stat. And then I can use others sacrificially in an offensive capacity, which means we get less people dying from our home region, which of course is a positive all round. And then the same theory, I suppose, with the crossbowmen, is that we're putting our ranged units behind the front line, so hopefully they're less likely to get slaughtered than if we were to use them in a more aggressive posture. We're quite quickly filling up these burgage plots down here. How is the granary supply capacity? Still a bit of an issue. Might need to get down another granary. Let's pop it down just here, next to the small tavern. And let's get a worker at the small tavern with a bit of an overstock going on. And hopefully we've got some of those. Yeah, we've got some ale in already. It's cost us a lot of our regional wealth actually, but hopefully distributing that will keep our approval up nice and high for a few extra months, which will get us that little bit of extra migration, which in the long run will go quite a long way to advancing our settlement, because you need people. Without people, there ain't much manor in. Let's get a few more pigs here. Pop an upgrade there. Goats in all across here. How are we doing with production of iron? Plenty of iron ore, reasonable on iron as well. Might even be able to start exporting iron ore before too long. And once these guys moved in, we can get to production on yarn. We're up to 67 wool, so we'll have a little bit of a head start on that as well, which is good. Let's get a worker. Ooh, upgrade you. And we've got a worker at that forestry there, actually. Hold off for a minute. We might put another one of these here. I do quite like how it looks, though we have got this space here to fill first, but living space isn't currently one of the constraining factors. It's a shame we don't have any garments being produced yet, actually, because that would allow us to get up to level 3 on some of these burgish plots. That's okay. We don't need level 3 straight away anyway. Let's get these hitching posts upgraded to stables and order in another ox as well. That mining pit's completed, so we'll get someone working there extracting that clay. And that clay, of course, will need to be turned into roof tiles. So we'll get that set up there. We'll also go to the trading post and let's get to importing some mortar. Looks like someone else is exporting that. It's critically oversupplied. We probably want 50 mortar. And we're also going to need to import some dressed stone. Probably want 50 of that as well. Critically oversupplied. Oh, I'm glad that's making that cheaper. I guess that our adversaries are also exporting, and that is affecting the cost of goods across the region. Let's reassign you to be an armorer's workshop so we can start making some helmets. Get that upgraded there. As families continue to move in. Plank production is good. Timber production is looking okay. Regional wealth is not looking so good. And that's because we've bought so much ale recently, I would imagine. But it does appear to be keeping people happy. Which of course is one of the most important things. What we'll do then is I'll work on getting the rest of these burgish plots filled up. Once we've done that, we'll come and look to build a few more burgish plots to allow more people to move in. And hopefully push towards getting a production chain set up for some crossbows as well. The armor shop's up. You can make helmets, that's fine. We'll keep those for the minute to equip our own troops. But we will probably sell some as well in the grand scheme of things. Let's get some more burgish plots in. And I think we're going to set up a few more that are going to be orchards potentially. So let's see what we can do with the space here in terms of something that's hopefully fairly efficient. That looks good. We'll get one there. And we'll get 2 there apparently. Misclick there. But, you know, what's done is done. And we'll get a few more burgish plots along this edge. A little something like this. Maybe let's bring this in manually here. A little bit further. Whoop. I hear bad noises. Build those there. Brigands. Oh gosh, and they're in our region as well. Who do they have? 3, 4 units? Right. Who is available on the world stage? Ho, Yim, Quiggle, and Kleinhuir. Kleinhuir is where we are. So I think we'll be hiring them in, and they'll probably appear right on top of those bandits. So we'll have to see what happens with that. And we'll of course rally our own troops. And let's see what happens. Oh gosh, they really are coming straight for us. And our guys have actually come in from this side here. So we'll run them into position. And let's position our own troops just here. They're getting rather close, aren't they? Right. Okay. How far off are our reinforcements? They're coming in. I think we'll have to just play fairly defensively here. Let's split up into some nice long lines in a tight defensive formation. And thing is, I don't know if shield walls. It might just be best for us to go full aggression and take care of as many units as we possibly can. We're trying to be outflanked here, so we're going to pull one unit back. Going to push these guys straight in, set these guys to fire at will and send them over here. Okay, right. Send you in there. We'll send you in there. And we'll send you to attack them. You're going to have to run so they don't get outflanked. And they're going to be against 2 units pretty quickly. We need to rush these guys in to support. And get these guys working as well. Hopefully we deal with these units fairly quickly. To free up them to come and support down here. You're rather outnumbered. I'm going to set you to give your ground. Come on, men. Push in. Right, I'm going to peel these men off. I'm going to send them to go and help here. To relieve this force. They're doing okay, they're nearly done, and these brigands can distract them for the time being. Get some missiles raining in. They're done, we'll pull them over here. Send them into rear of these brigands. And we've definitely taken losses. But it wasn't horrendous. 5 men or so we lost there. Right, 1 unit left to break. There we go. Right. Let's rally our forces. Bring them all over here. And we'll need to get a family working at the church. To do some burials. And we'll also need a family or 2 working at the corpse pit, which is definitely on the wrong side of the region here. The burials that need to take place. And unfortunately that was a little bit costly. Just disband everyone. Send everyone that survived back to their homes. Could have been far worse. Could have been far worse. Okay, we can't afford to keep importing the ale, so we'll set no trade in that to try and build up our coffers again, because we're down to 4 regional wealth. And we'll do some upgrades down here. And where were we before that incident? Ah yes, we were building these baggage plots in here. And also this granary, we'll get 3 workers in there and upgrade it to hopefully get on top once again of the oversupply issue that we're having here. We'll unassign that tavern for now, and we'll get the church upgraded to a small stone church because we have the material to do so now. It's something else we've been importing, the stone, etc., which probably explains why our coffers are looking a little bit empty. Order in an ox to there. Gosh, there's a lot of bodies to be buried, isn't there? How are we doing for clay? Clay furnace. We are producing roof tiles, which we're going to need, so that's good. Good stuff. And we're still waiting for you to move in so we can assign you to your local craft. But we're probably not terribly far off doing that now, because these tend to be quite filled up. So we're onto these properties and these here, and there we go. As we talk about it, we have someone move in. So you're going to go and work at the Weaver's Workshop. Get that upgraded straight away, and hopefully then we'll have someone move in over there. We're still at +2 monthly migration, at least for now. So that hopefully will bring us in a couple of additional workers. I think we probably need to up the number of workers at this forester's hut to 2. And we're going to need to get one of these families over here, probably, you for example, assigned to a tailor's workshop so that we can start to make some of those clothes that we're going to need. We'll set up these burgish plots here as orchards. And we're going to need more vegetable plots before too long as well. Although fuel is currently the main issue, not food, as it were, actually. Send you to work at the tannery. Upgrade. Goodness. Taking all those workers quickly, aren't we? Right, well we're done burying bodies, so we can unassign those whom are working on the corpse bit, so they can go and help out with getting the church finished with construction. Definitely going to need to get another granary set up again. Probably something over here, because that's where we've once again expanded. Although we do have the storehouse and granary here. We actually need to upgrade that storehouse. Although we are already at 3 workers for that granary. So let's get another one down. I don't really want to go above 3 workers for a granary, because 3 workers, there's only 3 carts per granary. So you go above 3 workers and they start carrying stuff by hand, which obviously is not the most efficient way to get goods distributed out to your peoples. So if we can avoid that, then we will. And we'll just then put this road down to here. And maybe get a storehouse set up on the other side eventually. If not more burgage plots. Order some seeds in there for the planting immediately and get that upgraded. Hopefully we start to see some clothes come into stock. Make sure you're doing the right thing. You need yarn to make clothes. I wish it was yarn to make the gamisons as well, because we don't have domestic linen production here. It's something we'll have to buy in, which I'm not overly keen to do. Population-wise, we're up to 213, so definitely more to go. But we are filling up the region quite nicely here, so we are going to have to start expanding to either side, which could mean taking advantage of those wild berries if we expand out that way, actually. The small church is coming together at least. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's too long before we start to get a few claims pressed our way from our neighbours. So that's something we're going to have to be ever careful of. And they've got fairly large settlements over here, haven't they? Well, that just makes me think we need to get on with construction of our crossbows. Now for that, we're going to need to set someone up to make metal parts. So we're going to continue with the setting up over here of turning these various animal pens into more dedicated production. So we're going to get I think we're probably going to get this blacksmith. Yeah, you're making swords, aren't you, for export? That's fine. I'm going to set you to be a blacksmith as well, to make the metal parts. And you are going to be a bower, because you're going to make the bows that we're going to keep for ourselves. Bower's workshop. Okay. Just make sure we've still got 3 families at each of these. I think we need an extra family for that storehouse, so we will. And got that granary is active. Let's also get this granary active. We'll get 1 worker to start with and upgrade it to a large granary. Get that one upgraded. I really do love this little circular village area we've got over here. And we can get an extra storehouse worker there as well. And everyone's needs seem pretty well catered for. It's just those beverages and garments, isn't it? Now I do want to take better use, or make better use of the iron deposit we have here. And all of these burgage plots haven't yielded the number of workers that we need. So I think we're going to go ahead and fill in the little bit of space we've got down here. So go there, snap to road, and fill this space here. And maybe with these, we will go and put expansion, because that's going to have more families than that does. Although not in the long term, as the upgrades go. But in the short term, that'll give us 6. And that'll only give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Fine. And then maybe we can do the same on this side here. We kind of surround that area there. And build some burgages in here. That was interesting, wasn't it? Interesting shape it just gave us. How did I get that? That might work. What if we bring that further up that way? Go to there. Yeah, okay. We'll go for that. And we will then, of course, need our very own storehouse and granary located over here. We'll put a little road down here. And that's where we will locate them. with a market space just here. Oh dear, we're in for a drought. That can't be good for our fish production. For goodness sake, we got lots of properties under construction. Get some chickens in those. And you can grow apples and be upgraded. And you can grow pears and not be upgraded. Another 2 workers there. What's that done for us? 3.5 Rodkin. Not terrible, but not great. Not great, not terrible. Okay, we set up, didn't we? Yep. So you're going to make metal parts, actually. And you're going to make crossbows. Perfect. So we can start to equip our crossbow units. And we're growing towards full strength on those 3 spear units, which is a good thing as well. Regional wealth is starting to recover a little bit. Pop some upgrades down here. Some chickens. We're looking a bit shy on fuel, but as we get people moving in over here, we can get a few more workers at the charcoal and the woodcutters' lodges here. I think we are going to need to expand our forestry capabilities because we are definitely starting to chop trees down faster than we are replenishing them. So maybe let's set a bit of a curve in down here. And on that road, we'll get a couple of foresters' huts. There's a bit of greenery appears to come back to the soil, which is a good sign. And it all generally, folks, looks like it's going in the right direction. I do feel like we're a bit of a race against time here, because it's only a matter of time, I feel, until that AI presses a claim towards us, and I'm ever conscious of that fact. But at the same time, who would want to attack this place? It's so pretty. You wouldn't attack this place, would you? No, surely not. You know, they would though, wouldn't they? I know these scallywags. Upgrade. Chicken. Whoop, another one. You'll be a chicken, then an upgrade. That +2 monthly migration going a long way to helping us get to where we need to be. Maybe able to get another worker out of that charcoal kiln to make sure we're making use of all that wood. And we'll get a worker at the first of those additional forestry huts as well. And I know a little while ago we said we would need to get some additional vegetable plots. And how are we doing for veg? We're looking okay at the moment, but we are going through quite a period of rapid expansion, especially with these small burgish plots. So it is something we do need to start considering seriously. And although I do like doing my square corpse bit design for vegetable burgish plots, I do feel that this organic layout we've got here lends itself more to something a little bit less organised. So I think that's probably what we'll aim to do. We'll get a few animal pens at the remainder of these here. And why don't we come over here and look to set up some vegetable plots. So if we build a couple of roads, we kind of mimic what we've done over here. I split this up into a couple of different shapes. A little something like this, perhaps. Another one coming across like this. And then that could even then translate onto this side. That can eventually go all the way to the manor. Open the castle planner. Make sure we've actually got, you know, the roads we need in here. And we haven't got enough stone shards. We need to import some of those, do we? Should have the finances to do that now. So let's go ahead. How are we doing with people here? Yeah, you don't look that busy. you all are all carrying riders though. I'll import that. We probably want 30 of that at any given time. Back to over here. And let's see how we can make use of this space in a way that's at least reasonably efficient. Those are pretty good. Okay, so 2 vegetable plots there. What about this one? That'll be better. I think what we might need to do though is finish this road into here. That might snap in a bit more of a friendly manner. Yep, that's good. And then we'll do a couple across here as well. Oh, can get in that corner. Might be able to snap across the top. Oh, very nice. That's a particularly nice. It's like an axe shape there as well. Very good. Not great. And that's smaller. What if we came this way? Yep, that's better. And then... not there. Not there. Maybe here? Maybe not. Not from there. Not quite the right angle, is it? Well, perhaps that's a space we can use for granary, etc. And then do this one here. Yeah, let's make this a little wider though. We're definitely going to need more than one family to work this space. It's mad. I like it. And then we'll get probably a couple of granaries, to be honest. Here. A storehouse. And also a forager's hut just here. And of course need water. It's something that people often tell me that they can't do without. And where are we going to put that? Just here. And a market stall, of course, as well. We'll put that on this edge. A little something like that there. And while we've been doing that, people have been moving in all over the shop. Mainly on this road here by the looks of things. So let's get some pigs. And some upgrades handed out as well. Looks like we're getting there a little bit on the fuel production. We're back up to 6 months on that front. And we may need to set our reserve actually at the trading post to be a little higher than it is at the moment. We probably want at least 150 before we export. And it's only got a value of 1, so I don't know if it's actually that really worth continuing to export that. In fact, let's turn off exporting of our charcoal. We need it domestically anyway. We might be better off using those people we've got to instead work on production of the more expensive things that we can sell instead. Are our helmets going out to our men? They are. That's perfect. And yeah, crossbows are going out as well. So production of those seems to be going smoothly. Armour would be a good thing to start exporting as well. How are we doing with iron ore? 130? Maybe let's get a few extra mining pits put down as well. So, what can we fit here? Get one there. One there. And one more. On the edge there. Connect those up to the roads. Like so. Alright. As people move into these properties here, we'll get them working down in the mines. And speaking of which, we need to upgrade these to be deep mines while we're at it as well. You, my friend, are going to go and work here. And you are also going to go and work here. You can, of course, though, have a couple of upgrades. Not going to deny you that at all. And with planks aplenty, we're going to start setting up these burgage plots ready to receive vegetables when we can have people moving in and afford to get them planted. Good stuff. We also probably want to get someone working at that forager's hut, but we'll wait for someone to move in a little closer first. We are going to need to get a few workers down at this granary here. So we will assign you to work there. And has everyone got everything they need over yonder? Yep, looks like everyone is equipped. You've got 3 workers at that granary there. And yet we're still only just staying ahead of the curve. Let's get a extension to the pasture space we have and fill in this gap here for an extra 35 spaces. And we'll just as well fill in this little gap here as well. Oh, and this one. Would seem to make sense, wouldn't it? Good, and as well as thriving industrially, we're finally making some progress to filling up our military as well. Now, of course, we're not going to have much of a depth to our military with just one region, but hopefully we'll have enough, supported with the mercenaries we are intending to buy in, that we'll be able to take care of these AI dogs. We are definitely filling this region up. We may need to claim others. We'll just have to see how it goes. It's been a little while since I played a game of Manor Lords where I have to control troops. I've been away building all sorts of weird and wonderful things in my Tent to Town series. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go away, let a few people move in, and I'll come back to you when we're ready to do some more construction. Alright, we're down to 5 available living spaces. We've got all of these vegetable plots being moved into at a rate of knots, and they're being planted up to provide us with lots of more lovely vegetables, which is wonderful. And over here, we've had a fair bit of clearance. We've got quite a number now of foresters hard at work replanting everything that we can to make sure we've got timber and lumber enough for the future. But I think what we also are going to need before too long is to have some additional fruits. So I'm thinking in this space here, we could look to add some more burgage plots focused on orchards. And to do that, I think we're going to build a road that roughly encircles our little cul-de-sac here. And perhaps connects back up here. That's suitably not perfect enough for this style of playthrough, I think. And then let's try and segment this up into a couple of spots for some lovely orchards. And we'll just divvy these up so that they're fairly random in shape. Something a little like this. So I don't want it to be too uniform. But I probably also don't want it to be too crazy. And then maybe an S in here. I think those go well into divvying places up. And let's see what we can get down. So we'll start in this corner and see what we can work about. Straight away, that's perfect. It's just what I'm after. And then we'll try this one too. Oh, what's that? It's this really tiny one in the middle of all that. Okay, well that one's fine. And then something on this one here. Almost filled. I think we almost need to smooth that out there, don't we? Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's very nice. Okay. And then come across like so. Fill that space out. And 3 there. Seems to work nicely. Good stuff. And that kind of flows nicely from this one out to here. And then we may need some additional, once again, specifically granaries, but also potentially a storehouse. So we'll get those down here. And make sure that there is a path there connecting those up. And we'll get a little bit of space in the middle. Or perhaps to the side here. Too small. Okay, on the outside then. For a couple of food stalls. And if we can get water nearby, that'd be grand. In there would be perfect. I did see for a second there it was possible. I'm sure it was. Maybe not. Just needs to be close enough. Oh, there it was. It was there. It definitely exists. I saw it. Ah! Perfect. Good stuff. Apologies, headphone wearers. So, as we get the last of these moved into, we'll make sure they get upgraded to level 2. We'll want to have the same happening over here. And these are all going to be for fruit farms. So we'll get the appropriate extensions placed onto the rear. Have I already done that one? What? It doesn't have a rear garden space. Bye-bye. How did I miss that? So we'll get those extensions popped on. And we're going to need to replace this one here, obviously. Fancy that size, not having a plot out the back. Very strange. Okay, what if we came from this end? Yeah, that's going to work nicely. We just need those resources to be removed out of the way. There it is. Goodly goodly. And as far as military goes... Oh, look at that. We're actually up to full strength in all 6 of our units. We've obviously got the retinue that we're going to need to do some work on. We're up to 2,500 for our regional treasury. I do, however, feel we could be exporting more. I think perhaps we might be lacking export. Whoa, as we zoom out. You can see we're filling up nicely there, aren't we? We might be lacking bandwidth for export. So I'm going to get another trading post. I think we'll pop it down here on the King's Road. And some of the people from here can work there, as well as what they already do. Get an extra family working at that granary. And hopefully we can continue to export as much as we already are. Now, when it comes to armaments, I believe our military is equipped. Yep, everyone has helmets. In fact, we probably have spare helmets. Yeah, 34. We need to start selling those at some point. And we can continue to sell what we make. So we're selling sidearms for a fairly good profit, and spears as well, actually. It would be nice, however, to equip our troops with some additional weapons. Armaments. Yes. So. Unit types, yes. 5 equipped rooms, yeah. Residential level, yes. Now, I can't remember what levels people need to be for what armaments. I don't think they'll be able to wear chainmail just yet, but they could wear gambesons. But gambesons aren't going to be that cheap to import, and linen is not that easy to grow here. In fact, if we look, let's have a look though. Flax, good grief, definitely not growing flax here, are we? It's barely worth it there, and that's about the best spot we could find for it here. Yeah. So we're not going to be growing that. Out of interest, what would it cost to import? There's the royal tax is starting to go up as well. It's something to consider. How much would it cost to import flax? 11. It's very expensive. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be equipping ourselves with gambesons. It may just be something we have to go without. So we'll have to make up for it with lots and lots of mercenaries. Let's get some apples, pears, quinces, orchard. And get some apples down here, some pears, and upgrades, of course, where you're ready to. Goodly, goodly. And get a granary and storehouse up and running. How are we doing there? Yeah, we're okay, actually, on the granary and storehouse supply front. Clothes-wise, what are we producing? Let's have a look at clothes. So we are making them. We're just using them up faster than we're making them. What's the bottleneck? Wool. So we just need our sheep population to continue to grow, essentially. There's not much we can do about that. We'll just have to wait for that to happen over time. And we'll make sure to order in horses for our traders as and when we can. And then in terms of iron, got 1.1k iron ore, and quite a lot, 400 of iron slabs as well. So that tells me we can be producing more in the way of metal goods. So, you're a carpenter. Huh. Let's set ourselves up here with you. Another armorer's workshop, and we're going to start making some chainmail, which we either will be able to wear or will be able to sell. Now, either way, it's a bit of a win-win. So we'll get that established. Then we'll start to look at upping taxes, and before long, I think it's going to be time that we go to war. We take the fight to the AI if the AI won't take the fight to us, and, you know, there are advantages to that. We get to hire in mercenaries before they do. I think Clunweir is probably our first, or Rim Martella, whatever it's called. This is probably going to be our first target. They're our immediate neighbours. I'll be interested to see what happens as well to this region of theirs if we move into this one. Does it become an unclaimed region? Do they get to keep it and resettle? Do they get to keep it and not resettle? I don't know. I'd like to find out though. Quite curious. Right, you're making mail armour. That's splendid. I don't think level 2 baggage plots can wear it. Though, having said that, if we can get on top of the garment production issue, maybe we can start making them. We've got 45 sheep and 58 lambs, so you know we are making progress on that front. We may even need to add some additional pasture space before too long. So let's encompass a bit of land that we can use for that purpose. And we'll just come in a little something like that there. And go to farming and put down pasture to fill this space here. Space for 77. That seems pretty good. And there's a couple of upgrades. Upgrades down here. And expansions apparently. And also get some more planting done. And I think we've got everything now that we can upgraded to expansions with living spaces. So once again, we're facing the prospect of needing some additional dwellings. Now we've recently expanded our veg production, and we've recently expanded our production of fruits. We've also got quite dense population around the iron production area, but it maybe wouldn't hurt to have more because we could more densely populate this, and we also got the trading post here which we want to get up and running. So maybe this would be a good area to target. Maybe let's split this up just once more, like so, and put in our little three-way street there, which I quite like. And then get down. For starters, a bit of infrastructure, so maybe a road coming up here to the side of the church, which cuts back in there. And on that we can have a granary, storehouse, and a well there, and market stalls there, and then we'll get some houses, perhaps even along this centre section might make more sense now. Something a little like that potentially. It's pretty cool, and I think that may even qualify for additional space when it comes to market stall capacity, granaries, etc. So we'll get that there, and maybe even another granary. Pop round on this corner here. Like so. Whoa. Enemy units. Looks like they're going for the AI this time. Do they have any troops that they can rally? Oh dear. Doesn't look like it. Have they hired in mercenaries? They have. And they're coming in. Gosh, they have got a fairly strong force of their own. Yeah, they're not going to struggle at all. That's worth noting. We're not going up against AI when we come to fight them that, you know, are completely defenseless, that's for sure. Okay. Right, well, we appear to be safe down where we are for the time being anyway. Let's get down a couple more of those bad boys. And we'll build a little road across here as well. Yeah, every time I hear that noise, I'm like, oh, there's none here, is there? And no, we're okay. As people move in up here, we'll send them to go and work at the local granaries and storehouses. And we can also get some more burgish plots on this side, around here. Like so. Uh-oh. That's not good. So they've shrugged off the invasion, and they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of their own here, and any mercenaries they've got as well. And they've just pressed a claim on our beautiful, flying, fierce settlement. Well, we're certainly not going to let them get away with that. It's a beautiful place, and we've spent quite a lot of time upgrading it and growing it, and, you know, I'm quite proud of it. Now, what military can we hire in? So, 2 lots, okay. Lilzul and Martelia. Where are those? Here. And here, okay. I don't know if we're going to need both, but it would stop the enemy from hiring them in. Not going to hire them. 250 for 2 units of crossbow is not worth it. Right, I'm going to hire these guys in, because we can afford them. And we are, of course, going to rally our own forces. We're going to bring them here for the moment. It's probably time as well to see if we can't upgrade our retinue. Though it's going to be quite expensive, we're probably better off hiring in people. I don't really want to put up taxes because I do want the +2 monthly migration, so we'll hold off on that if we can. But we've got a fairly strong domestic force. I'm just hoping that using it isn't going to weaken our defenses too much come time to invade. It may even be that we need to carry on an offensive immediately after this defensive action that we're about to take on. But we'll rally our forces, speed time on a little bit. Where are these guys coming in? They've come in from here. So we'll bring in our mercenaries as well, bring them down here. What's the most likely course they'll take? They'll probably come round here, I would have thought. So actually, it's probably worth rallying our troops to this border here. Yeah, we'll do the same with those. And we'll make sure we fight this claim, but not immediately. We'll give ourselves a little bit of time to sort of react to it. Meanwhile, construction is still going ahead. We're absolutely fine for food and fuel, so we don't need to worry about that too much. And we've got 15 mail armor. I take it we weren't able to equip any mail armor. Doesn't look like we can tell now that we've rallied our troops. Okay. We'll keep on hold of the mail armor for the time being, just in case we can use it. But I'm also going to take another one of these settlements, buildings, and we're going to reassign them. Possibly you. We're going to make you into a arms maker, and you're going to make more swords to allow us to further our sword export. Order in another horse, and we're going to fight this. Enemies declared. Where's the battle taking place? It's going to take place over here. So they're going to come in for us. They may also hire in mercenaries. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh gosh. I think the units we saw were actually their mercenaries and not who they were going to bring in domestically. Oh gosh. Coming into our rear. Okay. Right, well. Shoot at will. Looks like we're going to have to deal with the problem from behind us first. And we'll assemble our men in shield walls here. Set you to fire at will. Set a garrison force there and bring our sword round to the side. Get a man working at the corpse pit in anticipation of everything that's about to come. Maybe 2 families, actually. And just quickly, before we get to the fighting, let's see if we can't set these up with a number of animal pens. Like so. And an expansion there, apparently. So that there's something going on while we are managing the military force. But we're going to have to wait for people to move in before we start fleshing out those storehouses and granaries. And where's that? You were down here, weren't you? Yes, we'll have to keep an eye on your upgrading as well. Okay. Right, let's slaughter them. Right, let's take you out. Right, broken instantly. Ah, victory. Apparently, taking out that one unit was enough. Okay, right. And we have hired them. We have got enough treasury. Is now a good time while our military is already mobilized to go and take on one of our opponents. I'm guessing they're not going to attack us straight away. There's also the fact that some of the mercenaries, all of the mercenaries have already been hired, so our opponents can't hire in their own mercenaries. Yeah, I think it's the time to go on the offensive. We're going to march our army over here, and we're going to push into... what's his name? Swult's land. Right. Well, that was a good outcome, wasn't it? Can't complain about that at all. We'll slowly move our force into position. Slowly, I said. No need to run. Make sure nobody's running. You don't need to be going in a shield wall, though. Okay, grand. Everyone's working their way over, and we can afford that those hirelings for a little while as well, without having to up our taxes immediately. We are, of course, going to want to continue with getting more traders active, because we should be exporting things like iron ore. But even when we're not, we are looking to get more blacksmiths up and running, like we are here, so that we can make even more swords for sale, because they've been doing pretty well for us on the market. 6 a pop. Warbows are doing 2 a pop. Crossbows would be grand. We have got 145, so maybe we can export everything over 60. Set a reserve of 60 crossbows. Anything over that we can export. We've also got an excess of helmets now, so perhaps we can go and establish export for helmets. Again, I think everything over 60 helmets we can probably export. And, well, like I said, we'll hold on to the mail armor just for a moment. But it might be that we get another couple of burgage plots working on production of steel. And that might be something that we do with these burgage plots here as people start to move into them. How are we doing for wool? Okay, we're actually picking up. We've got more wool now than we are yarn. So we'll get a 3rd worker at the Weaver's Workshop. And we may even look to expand our weaving capacity by opening up another Weaver's Workshop, and it might make sense to have that over here where the wool is, but actually, yeah, we'll do that. We'll pop that over here, and we may need to, make someone available to work it. Right, we are going to claim this province. What you gonna do about it? Our military is ready to move in. Okay, so they've got mercenaries coming in from there. Where is the battle to take place? Oh, pretty much where we are. So we're going to move in straight away and occupy that area. Just keep an eye on where enemy units are coming in. So from behind there... I'm not taking a bribe, my friend. And he's rallying his own forces as well. Okay, let's arrange our... spears. Oh gosh. Okay, he has got quite a lot of forces. Okay, we'll arrange our spear here. We'll have our crossbows behind. We'll put our sword on the flank. Put you over here. And over there. Okay. I think our only chance, actually, is probably to take care of their domestic force before any mercenaries get involved. Because it's quite the domestic force here as it is. Without the mercenaries they've hired in as well, although those mercenaries aren't going to be so much of a problem. But if they've got more deadly mercenaries, then they will be, obviously. Alright, well, we'll just see if we can't take care of this force before we have to engage anyone else. I don't think it's going to be a lossless battle, though, unfortunately. Ah, yeah, you see, that is a problem. There's a significant military force coming in from there. So if they hold back, we will need to attack. We can't afford to wait to be surrounded. Okay, well, we're going to take a minute to move into position. We can use that minute to go and buy some goats. Yes, the small things. It's going to continue to spook me. It's a good thing they can't decide to pillage you while you're off burning them, is it? It would be rather inconvenient. Having to have a defensive force as well. Let's get the granary and storehouse active, and we'll upgrade those as well. Do the same on this side before they're even needed. And the battle begins. Okay. So it doesn't look like they're going to hold back from an engagement anyway, and they're fairly dispersed at the moment. So I think what we're going to want to do is establish a fairly long front line here. And establish our archers behind. Keep these units off to the flank, like we said. Fortunately, there's only 5 retinue there, so they're not going to be a major disruptive force. We could always sacrifice our retinue if we need to slow these guys down. But that will be a last resort kind of thing, I think. Okay. I'm really hoping our missile is going to be able to do the lion's share of the work here. Because that really is where our advantage is. Alright, you should be in range from where you are. Come on. Open up. Alright, they're still a ways off. Doing quite, I think, what we need to do. Alright, we've opened up on the retinue. Come on. Slaughter them. Good, right. Retinue dealt with. First hurdle. Thing is, they do outnumber us in terms of actual infantry. I think we're going to have to set them all, balanced shield wall to increase defense, and hopefully that gives our missile the opportunity they need to do what they need to do. Looks like these guys are going to have to take care of them on their own. Alright, and we're pelting them already. A good start. Focusing fire on one unit. Hopefully we can do significant damage to them. We'll keep an eye on what's available mercenary-wise. It's the 14th of August, so it's going to be a little while before any come in. Move in on this flank if we need to. Make sure that we're not outflanked. Pepper this unit as much as we can, and then actually we're going to come out of shield wall. I'm going to charge them. Take care of that unit right away. Going to reassign them to attack that unit. Oh, crossbows are quite strong, aren't they? We'll swarm this one and take it down before they move in. Oh, they're really strong. Okay, 9 left. Assign you to take them. We're nearly done with this unit. And we're going to push straight into this one. Let's reform our lines. Quick pause to see where the enemy are. They're still over there. Okay. Alright, this is going well so far. We've managed to really make good use of our bother. Two lads, look. And they're actually doing decent damage to our archers. Right, let's take care of them. Come on. Right, he's dead. That unit start with. Let's focus all our remaining fire on this unit here. And we're going to move our units into a box formation. Aggressive stance. And we're going to come in from the flanks and take care of the remaining units. Well, a rather well executed battle, if I do say so myself. We take care of the straggling forces. I don't think we lost a single man in that conflict. And victory! Before the mercenaries even get here. And actually, while they had more mercenaries coming in. And the region is ours. Well, chaps, that went swimmingly. We were able to deploy our far superior missile troops to great effect and slaughter incoming units, massively damage them, and then enabled our shield walls to rebuff any attack and our remaining units to outflank. I'm very happy with how that went. Now, what's the state of the economy here? Oh my gosh, everyone is very unhappy. We did just slaughter all of their families. Oh well, sorry about that. Okay, well, first things first. Flock of crazy geese, you've been... Do we go on? We haven't taken any losses. Do we go for Hogestad straight away? I don't know, it feels risky. It does feel risky. And actually, we won't be able to apply any extra units though, because even if there were people here to use, which there are probably not really at the moment, because we just killed a lot of them. Yeah, only 83 souls left. Even if we couldn't add them because we don't have enough available slots. We could use their retinue, but we haven't even built up our own retinue yet. Okay, I am going to make a call. We could claim that other region. Let's do that. Because then we don't have to just contend with a domestic force. Because we've just taken their only settled region. So all they can use to defend this one is their treasury, and they've just hired and then fired a load of mercenaries. There's a good chance we can get that without too much of a fight. So we'll claim that. What is this region strong in? Stone. So it would make sense to me, go to developments, to get the masons, which we shall do. Right, we'll deal with you in a second. We're marching our army over here. We can afford to pay the flock of crazy geese for another month. And, yep, that's fine. We're moving to this location. Let's just take care of things domestically, although actually not much time has passed. That was a relatively quick war, wasn't it? So we're still in construction here. We do have a couple of burgish plots available actually to have some work done on them, so again, we're just going to throw in a whole bunch of animal pens for these. Have we mostly been making use of our hides? Yeah, we have, 425 leather. Good. That's good. Taking care of that nicely. Okay, we're getting a whole bunch of goats. Good, good. Speed time up a little bit. And
Regional wealth is down. What have we been spending on? Actually, probably just on establishing trade routes, wasn't it? Yeah. Good, you can see that we're making a lot from our sword production sidearms. We've actually got a small excess at the moment. Let's get an additional family and horse at the trading post. It's nearly September. There are lots of mercenaries available. I am going to hire the most dangerous ones, just so they can't be hired by Enders, on the off chance that he has any money left, even though he doesn't have a region. And yep, he has indeed hired in some units. So that was a wise precaution. Glad I did that. And we can afford both of those for quite some time anyway. And with that many mercenaries, it may be we continue on. And we do try to go for a more complete victory and attack some of the other units as well. Okay, right, well, I think we know what we're doing, don't we? We'll set ourselves up in a hollow box configuration. Everyone in shield walls to begin with. Right, set you up here. And we'll have our spear and sword on the flanks. And then we will have our archers in the center, set to fire at will. Move them into position. And we've got these guys moving in to support us as well. So much war going on at the moment. Right, we got everything sorted here, didn't we, with our orchards? Yeah, that's good. And don't appear to be getting anywhere with clothes. How much yarn do we have? 159. Okay. Well, it's obviously a problem with having enough weavers then, isn't it? So, anyone over here, level 2? No, what's wrong? Why aren't you level 2? You're level 2. Why aren't you level 2? Mishes? Mishes? That's meant to be fishes. Go away. That may be because we need some additional granaries supplying the area. Although it's not too bad, the granary supply at the moment. We may just have to wait for that to be level 2, and then we'll get a few more tailors' workshops set up. Okay. Back over here. Once again, we're going to absolutely slaughter anyone that comes for us. In fact, we're going to push forwards towards the enemy. We need to take out those missiles to avoid taking casualties. So we'll advance our force. Look at that. Enemy units taking an absolute pummeling from our crossbows. Engage the brigands. Take out the archers. Without the infantry having to even engage. Make sure they're all set to aggressive. They kill a single lad? No, they're too busy being slaughtered. Our steel helms are obviously doing their work. They are returning fire a little bit, but it appears to have been largely ineffectual. Shield wall up to hopefully protect us a little bit more from incoming missiles of what's left of them. But yeah. Sorry lads, you didn't stand a chance. You're not even looking the right way, buddy. Big grief. Standard of mercenaries these days. Alright, where are the remaining enemy units? There's a brigand over there. Is that it? There, okay. Victory is ours. Right, we'll continue to assemble our forces together, and I think we will go and knock on Gestad's door and take on Swart. That's the plan. We've got the money, we've got the men, and we've got the will. I do feel it's rather slowed down our domestic improvements, though. Right, I can't be bothered to wait for you, so I'm going to take someone from the central region, and we're going to make a couple of tailors of you. Hopefully your jobs weren't too important, such as granary workers. And we've plenty of space for people to move in. Population is 372. I don't think I need to respond to him. He's gone forevermore. Okay, looks like our military is assembled. Make sure running is turned off. And also take everyone out of shield wall formation. And let's go rather innocently over here. Doesn't mean anything about it. Don't worry, buddy. Don't worry. Nothing to worry about. This enormous army marching across this field is completely coincidental. It's got nothing to do with our military aspirations. Yes, nothing at all. Okay. Anyway. Enough from Craze Typical. We never actually went over here and checked if everyone's okay. Food for 6 months, fuel for 4. It seems fine. Oh my goodness, you've got so much money. Where's your manor? Taxes. 10%. And don't worry about tithe. We're fine for influence. No, we're not. Oh gosh. Influence is a problem. 10% tithe. Completely forgotten about that, haven't I? Influence is a thing. I don't have the influence to claim that region. In which case, I better go over to our own native lands as well. We can afford to keep these mercenaries on fairly indefinitely, so I'm not too concerned about that. I would quite like to keep them. But I think we probably need to increase taxation on foodstuffs so that we can get our influence up nicely. That's going to be the restraining factor for sure. I think we're still going to deploy our military because we only need 1,000. I'm hoping that's not going to take that long to bring in. And what can we do here? I take it you've been flooding the market with stone. And you've got a stonecutter camp here. What do you have in terms of hut resource? 20 dressed stone, not lots. Not lots, okay. Well, there's a number of burg spots that can be upgraded, so I think we might as well go ahead and do that. And we're going to need to get more fuel. Oh my gosh, got 39 unassigned families. That's insane. Right, well. Also, how many ox do you have? Do you only have 2 oxen? Good grief, okay. Let's get down some hitching posts. Just looking at the number of logs here, I was like, what on earth? Okay, bunch of hitching posts. And let's go to a hitching post you already have. Should be in here somewhere, I imagine. Order an ox and upgrade that to a stable. Do you have a livestock trading post? Where might that be? Sequented. Where have you hidden it? I know not where you have hidden it. I know not if you even have one. So let's get one. And we will use that to import a reasonable number of oxen. And like I said, we're also going to need to put a logging camp so we can store the logs. Some wood cutters. And some charcoal kilns as well. Food wouldn't be a bad idea. We may need to put some burgage plots in with the express purpose of producing vegetables. How unique? What? Burgage plot overlaps the logging camp. How bizarre is that? Okay. It's fine. All good. I'm upgrade's going to bug me, but that's fine. And we've got construction ongoing. It's obviously going to be massively held up by the number of oxen you don't have. We're going to need a couple of foresters, because you've been lopping down your forest with a vengeance. And we'll connect that up to a road. Okay. That's fine. Speed time up and see if it is worth bringing our men home, because it is 1,000 influence we need. They do look mighty fine though, don't they? Quite the military force. I knew the crossbows must be good, but I must say they're significantly better, I think, than the regular archers. I don't think 3 units of archers would be quite as powerful as the crossbowmen have been. I know the crossbows are harder to make. I guess, I don't know. This game obviously just treats them as significantly better than bows. I don't think we can see those stats though, can we? Can we? Oh, range attack 37 versus 13. Distance 8. Distance slightly lower on distance. Slightly less armor. But 13 range attack. 37. That's a lot more, isn't it? No wonder the crossbow units, in terms of mercenaries, are so expensive to hire in. They're significantly better. We'll watch this tick over into November and see how much our influence goes up by. 929 at the moment. Sorry, 956. Come on. Tick over. 31st. Okay, up to 1.2k. It's going to be a couple of months, isn't it? Okay, right. Let's bring our men home, because they can go and do their jobs in the meantime. And we'll leave our mercenaries stationed out there. We can afford 180 a month to hire them. We've got nearly 2k in the treasury, and it's only 500 the royal tax at the moment. We may even come back with our retinue the next time we go to war. People have been moving in at a rate of knots, and as welcome gifts, we're going to give them some goats. Why not? You might be thinking, why don't you build, put more pigs in? And that's because we've got 154 pork, which is plenty of pork. And milk is what we need lots of, because it's one of the requirements, animal produce, as well as meats and fishes. And later it becomes a thing you need as well as animal produce or fruits. And animal produce is harder to get. So I always like to have a fair amount of goats, especially if the meat situation is already mostly taken care of. Let's get a few more workers at the granaries here. And after all this construction, we're obviously a little bit behind on logging. So we may need to get some additional loggers involved. Not involved. We've got 2 working there. And we've got 3 working there. We may just need to wait for it to build up a little bit more. We are obviously going through them quite quickly with plank production. Might be worth getting another logging camp put down somewhere. But I'll tell you what, it definitely will be worth doing. And that's getting some foresters put down over here to try and reforest this area. And we'll just wait and see if the logs build back up. We did just spend a lot actually on building over here. So maybe that's where we used them all up. And let's pop over the border. Well, apparently we have people moving in. 3 months on fuel. You built any of this yet? Yes, you have. Right. Let's get 6 workers in here, because you've got, oh my gosh, so many unassigned families. Get a bunch of charcoal workers as well. Some logging camp workers. And we built that livestock trading post we have. So we want to have at least 20 oxen. Support that. We definitely need to get these upgraded to stables. Like so. A shrine there, that's fine, leave that alone. And how are we doing? We started pushing out a reasonable amount of rough stone. Yeah, we could probably do with an extra stonemason station. Pop that down. Yeah, no planks. Do we have a plank problem? Ah, yes, of course we do, because there's an ox problem. Okay, we'll leave them to it. 389. Reasonable sized population in a rather gorgeous town. Like I say, I don't normally do these unusual random layouts, but I'm really happy with how this one's turned out. There we go, timber's packing up. Packing up? Coming back up, nicely. So we'll get all of these upgrades on the way. Where are those tailors' shops we opened? Over here. Make sure you're both making woolen clothes. Oh dear, cold. Woolen clothes, yeah, one of you wasn't. But we'll get you back on that now, and hopefully we can start to work our way through the stockpile of yarn that we have. We may even need to get a third one open, and it may make sense to do it over here, where we've just had some converted to level 2. We're nearly there on influence. Tempted even to wait till we have 4k, because then we can move on more than one region. But we will still build it up while we're at war, I suppose. Goodness, everything here is level 1, isn't it? As is apparent now that all of a sudden we have the resources to upgrade everything to level 2. We'll let these guys do their work for a minute and wait for all these oxen to come in. Oh, there looks like a fair number of them have started to come in. It's made a huge difference to what can be done. I want to make sure we have got enough spots though, so let's build some more hitching posts. And then yeah, we can get to upgrading, because that's going to obviously provide us with a passive burgish plot income. And if we've built that... No, we haven't. We didn't have enough resources to do it. Okay, we'll come back and build that stonemason station. That's fine. Right, so we have 37 mail armor. I take it we can't apply it to our men. No, they're not a high enough level. And like I say, until the clothes are taken care of, if it ever is, then there's no point in importing any ale to upgrade anyone. Let's upgrade you. And let's make you a clothier. We got that additional weaver's workshop placed. So let's get 2 workers there. Where do you live? Wow. What are you doing over there? You do live quite far away, don't you? Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to demolish that. And I'm going to build a new one. Much closer to where we have some available workforce, because that just makes more sense. Let's speed time on a bit. Food and fuel is looking excellent here. Plenty of everything. This really is a beautiful place to live. Near the Twin Lakes. And we are becoming quite the military power. Things are on the up over here, although we are somewhat making our way into their finances, but that's fine. They're there for us to exploit, right? We won the war, now we get to exploit them. I thought that's how that worked. That was my impression anyway. Well, fuel is certainly taken care of. Food is the new issue of the day. What's fertility like here? It's actually perfect. So it might be worth doing some farming here. Put some fields up over here. Yeah, right, let's build a road out here. And then curve it back around these burgish plots into there. And we'll also put round this side here. Like so. And then we can look to get a farm and some wheat coming in here. Oh, look at that. Really taking care of the oxen problem, hasn't we? Hasn't we? Haven't we, even? Got a few unassigned families now. Get them working there. Get another weaver's shop open here as well. And let's get some families employed at these foresters' huts so we can start to get some more trees planted. Look at that, 45 milk. It's a nice situation to be in, isn't it? We don't usually have an excess of milk available to us. Alright, it's March, So that's a good time to build some farms, isn't it? Especially with the number of workers we have available to us. So I think we're going to be fairly slapdash about how we do this. But let's get down 4 farmhouses. And then let's just get some fields down. That doesn't want to snap to that road. Huh. Never mind. We probably want to keep these reasonably small anyway. So 0.5 Morgan a piece sounds a good idea. So can't snap to anything. What's going on? Let's click back through. See if that solves the problem. Nope. Okay, guess we're just doing this freehand. That's fine. Don't even know if it's going to bother if I build over each other. Right. We might as well make these a little bit wackier in terms of shape, because it doesn't really matter. So roughly follow the road. Gosh, they overlap. That is going to bother me. 0.5 Morgan each. And we'll go for 9 fields maybe to start with. Just want to get the food production up slightly. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. It's 9. And then these are going to be crop rotation on each and every one. Lovely stuff. And then it's going to be wheat, barley, flax will be the rotation. All sorts of good stuff. Flax, wheat, barley, flax. I really, really, really wish there was a copy and paste tool for this. Especially when you're doing lots of fields all in one go. This is a little bit tedious. But you know, that's micromanaging city builders way. Wheat, barley, flax. Oh God, I always forget which order I've done it in as soon as I click off it. Wheat, barley, flax. Wheat, barley, flax. Finally, wheat, barley, and rye? Was it? No, it was flax, wasn't it? Don't be silly, typical. Let's get a couple of workers at these foresters' huts. I'll save the rest for the farming. Ooh, and actually, we are going to need to get some windmills and ovens set up. Where are the level 2s? You're level 2, aren't you? No, you're level 2. Yes, you're level 2. Ah, it's level 3 for bakeries, isn't it? Okay, well, I guess then we are going to need some communal ovens. Get 2 of those down. And some windmills will be required also. Good stuff. Looking nice. 2.3k on ye old influence. So that's going well. And we can probably afford a greater level of tithe here. I'm going to up that to 10%. Keep the land tax where it is though. So I'm not struggling for finances up here. I don't think we will before the end of the game. We've got 100 sidearms. How are we doing in terms of exporting? Okay. Okay. You're doing it. Slowly but surely. Although we do have 1.4k iron ore lying around. Could maybe do with another bloomery, but I'm not sure how much more we're going to need to expand down here. I'm pretty happy with how it's gone. And look at that, we're starting to get clothes in. So actually, it might be time to start considering buying in some alcohol to furnish our people with. So we're going to upgrade the small tavern to a large tavern in anticipation of such a prestigious event. And there we are, so the last burgish plot is moved into. And there is no more space for people to move in unless we do some upgrading. Let's get some storehouses active. And is it worth having? Any additional taverns? Maybe one up here. Put that one there. Yes. Very good. Because if we can get up to level 3, any family that is up to level 3 will of course be equipped with mail armor, of which we have 56 now. Heady stuff. And we can always unassign a few people from whatever it is they happen to be doing, so they can be made available. And of course, as we start to upgrade to level 3, more workers will become available anyway. So we'll be able to fill the taverns with workers, that's fine. I suppose we should click these upgrade buttons. Oh, actually, what I suppose we should do is get some workers in these farms, so we can start doing some farming. And also order some plows. And then we can start clicking the upgrade button. As they start to harrow the fields and sow them with the vitality that will keep them alive. It's a good thing we liberated these people, actually. It was being terribly mismanaged by the AI. Good, good, good. Upgrade. You get an upgrade. You get an upgrade. You get an upgrade. Everybody gets an upgrade. There's so much lumber lying around. You've been cutting down trees for years and just leaving them to rot where they were. It's not a bad looking settlement, is it? But, you know, it's not exactly as good as ours, is it? No. This is fluid, would be the word that springs to mind. Alright. Gosh. There's a lot of upgrades happening, isn't it? Okay. 3,900 in the bank. Let's import some ale. We want 100. That's right. We've got 150 planks. Building up a little bit more timber. And hopefully that'll give us everything we need for a slew of construction work. Could do with a few more timber, to be honest. But I suppose it's because we're using planks up so quickly for production of the various artisanal items we're creating. Yes. Alright, well, we'll just keep a close eye on when we're ready to upgrade to level 3, which of course actually probably means having someone work at the tavern. Yeah. We won't get very far if we don't do that, will we? No, we will not. Is the answer to that. Look, an upgrade. How did we miss that one? How silly of us. I should probably upgrade that to a large tavern as well. Finish any of the level 1 upgrades that need doing. Wouldn't hurt to have another ox, would it? Actually got less ox in here than we do in our neighbouring region. How have we got on with planting? I know we've just had a load of ale arrive because I saw a massive chunk of money go out. But let's give you some permanent livestock here. Look at that, we've used up all of the people. Well, we're definitely overkilling it now on firewood and charcoal. So we can take a few people from those jobs. And probably from the logging camp as well. And they can go and work at the communal oven. And the windmills. Splendid. How are our hirelings doing? You just hanging out? Good lads. Yes, yes, you cost money. Not a problem. Alright, oh, what are you? Level 3. So it begins. Level 3 upgrades are starting to take place. 8, 2 and 25. The planks aren't going to be an issue. It is going to be the logs, I imagine. Time will tell how far we get. Taking a significant chunk out of our home finances here. Nearly up to 4k on the influence though, so once we're done with the level 3 upgrading program, we'll once again be able to deploy our military might and send it out across the regions to claim additional realms for us. Still a reasonably small region at 413 people. It's not the heady heights of what we've done in some of our recent playthroughs, but still a respectable figure, I think. And obviously enough to maintain a sizable military, which again is something we've not done in a little while recently. Now we've got the money, so I think it's probably worth not rallying our retinue, but getting some more lads. So let's recruit a bunch of men, and we can upgrade them too, which is more expensive actually than hiring them in the first place, I believe. That's 100. Oh no, nowhere near. Talking out my arse. Okay, we'll hire them, and that's reminded me that we never actually committed to building the garrison tower. Oh well. Well, maybe we can do that over here. Get down a garrison tower. Yep. Commit to that. And yeah, run out of timber. Timber be the problem. Our lumber industry down here is our weak point, isn't it, realistically? What we appear to have struggled with the most. Ah, but large village we are. A heady milestone indeed. And we should be able to get to small town fairly easily as well, before we run out of money. If the timber ever comes in. Good. All these fields are planted up. Lots of barley's come out. If not as much wheat. I wonder why there's so low on wheat. Guess maybe it was planted late. Who knows? Okay, influence. Good stuff. Get a couple more upgrades going. And there we are, small town. Absolutely flying through. And it's nice to see some level 3 Bergish plots gracing our streets. They are rather pretty, aren't they? Especially compared to the level 2. And look at that. Everyone wants an upgrade. It's tempting though, I would like to actually get the large retinue here because we have the finances for it. But I need to build up 12 timber or something to do that. Yes. Yes, we need 6 more. Fine, we'll wait. We'll wait until we have enough timber to do that. And then we can get the retinue together. Has anyone been equipped? Yeah, we've got a look. You can see in here, we have the first few of our military. Gosh, as a claim comes our way. They've come for us before we've come for them. I was just about to say, we've just got a few of our troops starting to be equipped with chainmail. In fact, not all of our supply. We actually still have some set aside. Alright, who's doing this? Where are you claiming? Our hometown. And who's doing it? Lara. You naughty, naughty girl. Well, we're not having that, are we? Let's pull back our forces from here to our home region. We'll run them. We'll hold off rallying our own troops until a little bit, as long as we can really, because the more burger shots we have at level 3, the more troops we'll have in chainmail. Who is available on the open market? Okay. No one useful. Not overly bothered about getting you, although I'll have to fight you if I don't buy you. Fine. I'll buy you. Where are you going to spawn in? I wasn't reading. Over here. Okay, you might get slaughtered straight away. I don't actually care, but we will run you with the intention of using you, at the very least. And we'll just keep on with our upgrading process, and then we'll fight this claim, and that will be a good opportunity, won't it, to then press forward back on the offensive once again. It would be nice though, actually. Yep, there it is, the timber. If we had time to build our garrison tower, that'll give us a larger retinue. And did we build this one over here? No, you're not constructed yet either. Okay. But we're obviously going to fight this. Our troops have arrived home, actually. Assemble you here. And we're going to, of course, rally our own forces too. We have quite the army. You've made a mistake, Clara, I assure you. Get away. Alright, where are you? You've got these troops here. And you've probably hired in some cheap hirelings. Where have you spawned in? Oh gosh, there's quite a few, isn't there? But I think we outnumber you. Let alone the fact that we have higher quality troops. So it looks like that's their main force coming in. So where's the battle taking place? Here anyway. So we will array ourselves ready. We'll take a standard formation. Balanced shield walls here. Our crossbows behind. Yep, we know you're coming. You're marching. And what do we have? Otherwise, we have 3 units of sword from the green caps. I'll put you on one flank. We'll have a reserve spear on the other. And we will assign the mercenary archers will join our crossbowmen. Good stuff. I wouldn't want to be fighting my force. We've got well-experienced spearmen. Still, struggled to get that out then, didn't I? Spearmen. Aggressive swordsmen. And, you know, battle-hardened. And experienced crossbowmen. Which turn out absolutely rip the behinds off anything that comes with them. Right, well, we'll just wait for Clara to come and make a mistake. There's no rush. Now, we've constructed that manor. Are we any closer to constructing our own? No, only 31%. Not that I think there's much point in deploying the retinue, but I suppose we... Thing is, the retinue might cost more to put together than it's worth. Because, you know, they are heavy infantry. Fine. Right, where are you? Beam. Alright, well, how much are you gonna... It's a lot of money. And, 26 per one to upgrade the armor as well. You better be worth it, because I could have hired mercenaries for months for this money. Yeah, I do think 4 units of mercenaries is worth more than a retinue. But I only have to buy the retinue once, I suppose, unless they die. And hopefully they're good enough that they don't do that. And we do have the available finances to do this as well. Might not be able to do it for both retinues, although the other one's already at half strength. Okay. Alright, we'll rally this retinue over here as well. So they're on their way. Oh, where'd you come from? Is that the way you came, or are you just ahead of the force? Okay, well, I've noticed you now. Alright, let's deploy you here. And redeploy our shield walls as appropriate. Pull our sword forward. And let's redeploy the archers. Bring these units in here. I don't really care if they get slaughtered, but if we can avoid it, I will. Yes, that's their main force coming in here. So these must be the units they've managed to hire in. You probably want to get out of the way, my friend. Just this unit on its own. It would be good to take care of them. Alright. Stand aside. Let the archers through. Let them take care of this. Oh, there is more than one unit. Don't want to get too cocky. Don't want to lose troops for the sake of it. If we can engage them though. Make sure everyone is set to shoot at will. Run you out into the open, because you getting slaughtered doesn't matter. Try and kite you towards our archers. I've completely forgotten about level 3 upgrades. Did we run out of something? Just not getting beverages. Okay, well let's stop you and let's open up you instead and see if we can't get some upgrades over here. Right, they've been engaged. I'm going to pull back these forces and I'm going to push our spear forward here to counter the threat where they're coming from. And our poor little brigands here being slaughtered. How close is the main force? Still a little way away. Got our retinue slowly but surely making their way over. Did we finish our manor? No, not quite yet. Come on. We should be absolutely mincing them. Pull back our infantry a little bit, they don't need to be so far forwards. Okay, right. Shield wall you, pull you back. And make sure everyone is engaging the targets. Come on, missiles. Do your thing. You should be able to absolutely pummel them. Take the flank up this. Oh gosh, they broke already actually. Not many of them even died. Okay. Let's deal with this last unit. Missiles from above, sword, shield wall from in front, and 2 units of sword from the sides. Doesn't seem fair, does it? Take care of them. That's them broken. Let's reform these troops. Ready for the main push. Let's charge them. It shouldn't be a problem to take care of at all. Not with our superior troops. It's all a bit of a walk in the park, isn't it? Oh. More troops coming in to disillusion us of that. But we've won. Okay, right. Gosh, it takes forever for retinue to get somewhere, doesn't it? Okay, well, we're going to push forwards, and we're going to attack your neighbour first, actually. Good grief, are you really going to go around that way? No, you're not. You're going this way. Make sure no one is set to run. No point exhausting yourselves. And we've got a few properties potentially ready for upgrading to level 3 over here, as they are supplied by ye local tavern. That's actually the number of logs we've got that's preventing us from upgrading further. They are coming slowly but surely. Right, keep the retinue coming. There's our own Mana complete, yes it is. Gonna hold off building a second retinue though. I think one is probably ample for the time being, given what we've faced so far. And goodness, they take a long time to get anywhere. We'll rally our forces here. How are we getting on over here? Had our first harvest, I take it? Yeah, we got bread on the market. Wonderful. That seems to have taken care of food for the most part. You're still working your way through grains or flowers. No, it looks like you have used all of it. That's fine. Right. What's available in terms of mercenaries? No one we want to bother with. Okay. Let's push a claim. And line up our forces ready. They do have a home force here, so it's not like we're going to be fighting absolutely nothing. They do have a domestic force of retinue. And there we go. Lining up our forces. And where are we spotting these units? No, we're not talking to you. Right, so retinues. Yeah, like I said, domestic forces. We probably want to take care of these before too many of these rubbish units come in, because they are going to be annoying from the flanks one way or the other. So let's push all of our spear forward in shield walls. All of you, please. Let's follow you up with all of our missile. And then we'll deploy 2 protective sword on this flank, 1 on this one, and we might keep our retinue actually in with the spear. Lovely. I do love watching the units advance in this game. There's a sense of massiveness you get from these armies, even though there aren't that many men, that, I don't know, Total War series games obviously you get an enormous sense, but these ones it feels as meaty, I guess. Even though it's not necessarily as many men. Okay, what are they doing? Are they running away? Ah, the battle round is over there. Okay. That's annoying. Right, well, we will slowly make our way towards that battleground. Trying to maintain roughly this formation. Maybe we need to engage our foes on the way. I guess what we should have done probably is actually advance directly into their region and surrounded them, and then we could have ambushed them as they were rallying. That was the thing to do, wasn't it? Maybe we'll do that next time. We're up to 7 months of food there. At home, still waiting for logs, I imagine. Yeah, timber. I think maybe what we probably should do is get some additional oxen. That's something we did in the neighbouring region. We've actually got more there now than we do over here. So let's pop round a couple of hitching posts to make sure we've got enough of those. Go to our livestock trading post. Pause again because I don't know where those units are coming from. We don't want to be caught unawares while we're looking for livestock traders, do we? Gosh, can't remember where we put it now. It was fairly early on, wasn't it? Over here, when we were doing the sheep farms there. Tannery Weaver's Workshop, Tavern. Over here somewhere. I've lost it. I remember unmanning it. I don't remember where it was. Oh, there it was. Is, even. Trade. Import oxen. 20. back to prosecuting the war. It's just brigands we're seeing. Okay. Oh, and we're being chased as well by a sword and a spear. That'll be something to be aware is behind us. Probably means we'll need to keep our sword in reserve as well as protecting the flanks. There's a fair bit coming behind us. And we're probably going to have to engage them at the same time, because actually these ones, especially, and they're not too far behind. They might engage while we're still in combat. Okay. Alright, so we're going to line up our main force here. And then get our lovely missile just behind. Keep 2 sword in the rear, 1 on the left flank. And they have some archers as well. Did we just tick over into... We did November, so they may have hired a whole bunch of extra mercenaries. That is something to be very, very wary of. Yeah, they may have a whole slew of additional troops we don't know about. This could get quite sticky. It's probably going to be the hardest battle we have fought yet. Okay. They've all hidden in the forest as well, which is irritating. Right. Let's keep moving forwards into the edge of the into the edge of the copse here, of the circle that we need to be in. Just in here, with our missile behind, and make sure that our sword is in the right place. Okay, a bit nervous about this. I was very confident coming in. Just don't want to be fighting a battle where we're surrounded, because we lose our crossbow advantage. Goodness, there they are. It's quite the force. Right, well, slow time down. Let's make sure we deal with their missile right away. Off the bat. Move in our sword to protect the flank. Keep these guys a little closer in reserve. And look at that. They're being shredded. Yep, broken already. Perfect. Alright, we're not going to waste any time with these guys. We're going to rush 2 units in and slaughter them. And they're bringing up another unit of missile. We'll pick that off as soon as it comes into range. Pull these guys back into reserve. And hopefully it's another unit that we can absolutely shred. Didn't get the memo that this is suicide. Look at that. Absolute hailstorm of arrows. Good stuff. Right, what do we have to deal with now? So we've got 2 units of thugs there. We've got a unit of spear and shield directly behind us. So I'm going to redeploy our sword to the rear guard. And I'm going to push our spear forward onto the edge, almost, of the copse. And bring our archers with them. Lovely. We want to basically... I think that's actually far enough. I want to target 1 unit at a time if we can. Make sure we keep our rear protected. We may need more than 1 unit here to deal with these guys. But hopefully we'll be able to turn around by then. At least some of our units. Fire's going in. Hopefully we can wipe out at least one of these units before they clash with our front lines. I'm going to redeploy this spear onto an angle here. Let's change a couple of targets. Spread out our fire now. It's these units in here that I'm more worried about, but they're still a little ways off. Right, I'm going to press our numbers advantage while we have one. Target all of these guys on here. I'm also going to push these guys in. Oh, no need to deploy you, is there? Good stuff. Minimal losses. And their reinforcements have yet to arrive. Not paying attention, no. Retinue has arrived on the scene. Deploy 2/3 of our missile to take them on. Finish clearing them up. Okay, that's them gone. Going to redeploy our missile here. Push these units forward as a protective shield. And redeploy these 3 units to the rear. Now, I'll hold one back as a guardian force. Although I don't think it's going to be overly necessary. We've dealt with the bulk of them now. God, look at that. Absolutely shredded. That reminds me of some of the footage from the early alphas, when missiles really were overpowered. But I guess the crossbows are just still as strong. Victory! We have claimed this region for ourselves. And once again, minimal losses. Right, I don't think that we stop there. I think we press straight on. Any other mercenaries available? No, that's fine. We're going to press a claim on this region here. And we're going to deploy our forces straight over the border. Are you going to start starving as we leave you alone? Yes, you are. You have no food. How do you... Oh, you got no fuel. Is there no trees? Again, just the AI just doesn't seem to fancy planting trees. Just not in its nature. Let's get a couple of foresters down. And also, we need to get some production for firewood and also for charcoal. And we'll whip that down. Why is that so overlapped? It's a little bit buggy, isn't it, when you claim an AI region? I guess maybe the AI has some of the collisions turned off because it can't manage. I don't know. Maybe that's the reason. And hopefully they're okay food-wise. And that's not as easy to fix, though we could start importing stuff. Does anyone ready for level 3 upgrades? Or no, it's just a massive timber shortage because of all the upgrades. We might as well stop buying in the ale, to be honest. I'm not using it. Right, back to the military. No one run, please. Enemies declared. We're practically already in the right area. They've rallied their domestic forces. That ridge would be a nice place to be. But I don't think we're going to get there in time. So we're going to be taking the low ground. But it doesn't really matter so long as we're in the correct region, I suppose. We'll keep them on the flank with 1 unit of sword. And we'll deploy the other 2 units of sword to this side. And then, of course, our missile to the center. Maybe spread them out a little bit more efficiently. Okay. We'll shield wall up these guys. push them forward like so. Okay, now, I don't think they've hired anyone else in, because it's not ticked over yet. Take care of their retinue, first and foremost. No need to even engage, we'll just run away and kill them with our missile. Readjust our men. And it looks like they would dearly like to use the high ground, but you know, you come to me, buddy. You come to me. Okay. They've split between both sides here actually, which is smart. So we're going to deploy half our infantry to both sides. And we're also going to split our missile. And we will fight them on two fronts if they want to fight on two fronts. Not a problem. If they want to engage our retinue, that's on them. Deploy these guys as a defensive shield actually. And we'll push these three in. Bring these guys back. They'll be able to handle them easily on their own. And our missile has already started engaging. You're going to be the defensive screen for these archers. And then we'll start divvying up targets here. They're almost through. These guys are taking pretty heavy fire. Okay. We are going to keep that shield wall there actually. Right, we're going to have to engage. We do not want to be risking our missile. Take care of this on the flank. They're almost through on the left flank. I don't know if they're ever going to get through anyway. We'll redeploy these to attack there. They've just been pummeled into nothing by our vastly superior force. Right, concentrate all of our missiles on these guys. Lovely. And otherwise push in and take care of the rest of the rabble. Now, are we going to finish them before the month ticks over? Because if we don't, they can hire mercenaries in. God, I would not want to be those men. Oh, that retinue really smashed in there, didn't it? And none of them get a clean shot, that's fine. Line up these boys for a rear charge. And push them into the rear. And yep, the enemy has hired in additional troops. So the battle is not over yet. But we are all but through with the domestic retinues. With minimal losses to our own men. There's 5 lads in there. They don't stand much of a chance today. And they're dead. Okay. Well, in that case, I think we just as well take the high ground. Ah, we've won. Never mind. I guess because we held the region. Peace declared. Alright, we've nearly got enough influence to move on the next region. We will assemble our troops on this plateau anyway. Our vast army. And how are things at home? Just a general lack of timber. Fortunately, it doesn't appear to be affecting us in any other way though, so it's absolutely fine. And what about in our other regions? You've got 4 months of food. Just taken you. I'm sure you're fine. You seem okay. You don't seem so good. We were placing a load of things for you, weren't we? Where were they? Yes, here. Okay, let's get some workers at the Woodcutter's Lodge. I imagine we're going to have a few deaths here over this winter. But, you know, not much I can do. Came in and found the place in an absolute state. Yeah, I'll do the best we can. I've got another ox problem here as well. AI can't order oxes. Something to be looked at, that. Not that I'm complaining. But it would make it rather hard for it to compete if they can only ever play with 2 oxen. I mean, I forget to order extra oxen sometime, but it's never this bad. Come along. Let's get that hitching post placed. Well, we'll leave you to it. I want to look at our army. All lined up in the dead of winter. An impressive host. I really love these crossbows as well. You'll be seeing much more of those in my playthroughs, that's for sure. They feel like an absolute necessity with the strength that they have. Just wait for this to tick over so we can get into another region. I take it there is a manor here somewhere. There is. Up that tithe to 10%. And let's do that in each of our claimed regions. So we can do that down here as well. And hopefully they get some fuel in before too long. And we'll wait for December to tick over into January. So we can press our next claim. And in anticipation of that, we'll move our forces to the border. Let's make sure no one's running. No point in wearing yourselves out, men. There's no rush. Gosh, a lot of people dying from the cold there. I can't help it. I inherited you. Just because I killed your husbands and sons in war doesn't mean it's my fault that there was no one to go and chop firewood, alright? Do feel a bit bad. We fixed it? I think we fixed it. Cool. You are mine. Just hire in everyone. There's no one for the AI to hire. To speed things along. You know, we've done a bit of fighting now. Alright, where's the zone? Let's go and occupy the region. Don't really need to talk to you, do I, mate? I haven't even left you anyone to hire. And it's safe to say you don't have any of your own troops. They all died. Look at how many units there are. Good grief. Never had so many units. Do you think we're winning? I think we might be. You say that. People are dying left, right and centre from the freezing cold. Because if there's no charcoal, no firewood. What are you all doing? You're all very ill. Sorry lads, did my best. I think most of you are dying. Sorry. Should have taken you in the summer months, shouldn't I? Enemy units? Where'd they find them from? Oh, we ticked over into February. Don't really know there's much point in deploying them in any sort of strategy here, is there? Just sort of lob them up and yeet them at the enemy. That's going to be my tactic here. The numbers are so ridiculously stacked in our favour. Oh, come on, man. You can do better than that, can't you? Even without my command. Let's take care of one of these at a time. Just deploy all of you at a run to take care of them. Come on, slaughter them. Yeah, you might be able to fire, but you can't fire quickly enough. Come on. You can run faster than that, surely. Ooh, you're nearly here. You can attack them. Oh, it's a reasonable force there. No, they're not going to be here for a while. I think we'll probably have won by then. As soon as we destroy these 2 units, it should be the region is ours and claimed. Did we ever catch up to those guys? That is. Right, come on. Come on. The sword should be reasonably fast, at least. Just a waiting game now, isn't it? An enemy should know when they're beat. Let's try and cut them off with a bit of a funnel. There we go. We've got them now, surely. Oh, they're all the way over there. Come on. Let's deploy these as well. These guys are on track to overrun them by the looks. Let's come in from the side. There we go. This is not where they are. Come on. It should be easy work. Couple of lads over there. Nearly all ours. And victory. Right. Clump up our ridiculously sized army. Put them over here. And just give me a tick and we'll get some influence. Here we go then, claiming the last region left to us. The gauntlet has been thrown down, and the enemy is coming in apparently. Basically already in the right area, but we'll move our troops further in anyway. And where is the enemy coming in from? Oh, from our region. The audacity. Okay, well, let's arrange ourselves in some kind of structure. Let's use this crossroads. Right. Let's put all of our missile on the inside. And then let's use our spears and our infantry to form a box around the outside to protect the missile. There we go. 3 sides, and then we'll keep our retinue to reinforce, and our thugs can just, can also reinforce the front line here, I guess. Is that everyone? Not quite. Right, let's see how everyone forms themselves up, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Not a bad effort. Right. We'll plug the ends with these guys. And let's slightly reformat these guys. And these guys. And these guys. And then spread our archers out a bit more on the inside lines. And we'll keep our retinue in the center. How about that? Come on. Need to let our sword through. There we go. Make sure all of our archers are set to fire at will. Just need to step them aside to let them in. These guys in the center. And look at that. Pretty happy with that, I've got to say. Anyone would think this is the band of the Red Hand with defense like this, wouldn't they? Alright, well let's see how our defensive triangle holds up. We are in the right zone, aren't we? Yes. Well, hopefully with our formations like this, we can basically handle anything that's thrown at us. In theory, the missile should pretty well take care of anyone before they really break the outside lines, even with troops only 1 thick. Looks like the brigands going for the outside point here. Missiles are kicking in from both sides. Oh, this is pretty, isn't it? Look at that. Engaging targets from all sides. Units being routed before they even hit the spear. Are these guys actually going to close? Skirting around the outside. Oh, taking an absolute hail of fire. Doesn't look like they're even going to engage the outer line of troops. Let alone get an opportunity to break through. Another charge coming through directly to the outside line. Here they come. They look to have just smashed against the outside. They don't know what to do they? AI doesn't know what to do. Except die. And there we have it. Victory is truly ours. That, I don't know why that charcoal kiln is so important. That looks more like our region. Isn't that pretty? And there we have it. Victory is ours over the Twin Lakes map. Days passed, just over 3,000. 690 constructions finished. 1,149 endgame population. Won 8 challenges and lost none. Killed nearly 1,000 enemies and only lost 37 soldiers. 47 dead villagers, but I think that's pretty much exclusively from that region we took over where the AI had not managed to have any fuel for the winter, so lots of people froze. That's it for today, folks. If you like these Camp to Kingdom style videos, let me know by dropping a like and a comment. For the first time, I'm starting to believe we might actually make it to that 1,000 subscriber mark. So if you're new or haven't subscribed, it would mean so much to me if you could be a part of making that a reality. If you're still in the mood to chill, then join me in another video. But for now, folks, cheerio.